Welcome to the Swamp here in Gainesville, Florida. It's the Tigers versus the Gators.
Let's go! We're just getting warmed up, just getting started, already fired up. Yeah, let's party, ain't nothing like it around here, going down out here. Get it warmed up and get it started. Everybody in here came to party. Good time, well, I brought it. Hands up in the air if you want it. Who's setting it off? You know that's us. You already know we getting warmed up. We're just getting warmed up.
Got it, Derek Dillon. Unbelievable.
We're just getting warmed up.
Touchdown, Gators.
We're just getting warmed up.
The Home Depot SEC on CBS. The best game from the best conference.
And with that, the Home Depot SEC on CBS brings us to Gainesville, Florida. Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, a matchup of East and West in the SEC. The number 22 Florida Gators against the 5th-ranked Tigers of LSU. Off to a 5-0 start. The Gators at 4-1. Brad Nessler along with Gary Danielson. Jamie Erdahl will join us shortly. Partner LSU, number 5 in the country. 5 straight wins. If they haven't surprised the country, they surprised me. I'm going to be honest with you. Florida at 4-1. That loss to Kentucky a month ago doesn't look that bad now. But you head into October, and the would-be's and could-be's become the will-be's.
Well, there might be a lot of B's there, but there's a couple of A teams in this league, too. I think Alabama and Georgia have separated themselves. LSU today could join that group of A teams. The rest of the league is pretty much what we thought. If you play good football, you can win. So many good players at home, a lot of teams can win in these games.
Second year in a row by a strange quirk of scheduling due to the hurricane a few years ago. That's back-to-back games that they've been here. And last year when we did the game, I remember you and I talking about the quarterbacks and going, if they don't lose the game, they got a good chance. Maybe different this year. Right?
I think so, because Joe Burrow at LSU is one of those guys that has emerged. You thought your surprise of the team has been better than you thought. It's because of Joe Burrow. He is the emotional leader. He's the toughness of this football team. He comes from Ohio State, and he even handled Jamie Erdahl. Here's her question, and if you can do that, you're tough. On the other side, Felipe Franks. I thought he was managed a year ago. Now, Dan Mullen is letting him do more and more and more. And I think today, for him to win this football game, he's going to have to turn him loose. He's going to have to get a lot more from his quarterback.
He looks a lot more confident, even in practice. And speaking of confidence, the two coaches have really instilled that in their teams right now.
You know, Brad, they come from the opposite side of the ball in their experience. One's an offensive guy, Dan Mullen. The other guy, a defensive mind, and Coach O. But they both echoed the same theme in this game. When they talked to us, they both said toughness will determine this game. This is my 9th game that I've done this. Every game has typified that. The tougher team has won the game.
The 65th meeting between the Tigers and the Gators about to happen at the Swamp. We'll check in with Jamie and kick it off when we come back. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by ExxonMobil, Chick-fil-A, Progressive Insurance, and by Napa. Ago, the undefeated Tigers of LSU, who've won the last 2 here in Gainesville. And the Florida Gators coming out on a winning streak now. Back-to-back SEC road wins for the first time in 6 years after their win last week. Before we kick, we check in third member of our team, Jamie Erdahl. Jamie.
Brad, Florida equipment manager Jeff McGrew could add crisis management to the resume after the week he has had. Florida's equipment truck on their way back from Mississippi State last week caught fire on the side of the highway, completely engulfed in flames. Now, the driver's okay, but they had to wait for all of the equipment on board, which was damaged by flame and smoke, to cool down before they could transfer to another truck and get the equipment back to campus Monday morning to really understand the damage that was done to their helmets and shoulder pads. Now, they had enough shoulder pads in their inventory to outfit everyone for practice, but game helmets didn't arrive until Friday morning. They had to quickly put decals on them, but players are wearing these game helmets and shoulder pads for the first time today. Gary, you more than anyone else understand how distracting that can be if something doesn't fit you the right way.
Yeah, Jamie, you're right. The only thing I took from the 27 teams I played for, is my shoulder pads every time. I made sure I got my shoulder pads. I wanted them and played with the same pair my whole career. Be interesting to watch Felipe handle new pads. I bet he's
still adjusting.
Yeah, adjusting all game.
And guys, let me add that doing those decals and assessing that damage, the smoke that affected, it was a stench that doesn't leave you, that they had to bring into that equipment room. But really the safety was compromised. If it wasn't fire damage, the smoke, they just weren't sure what was right, so they replaced everything.
They'll be adjusting chin straps and helmets all day, I'm sure. They're sporting new cleats today. Those were all here. They weren't on the truck, so they're okay with footwear. Well, it is the swamp. It is October. We can't seem to do a game where it doesn't feel like triple digits, but that's the way it is here in Gainesville. Florida leads the all-time series. They're usually ranked, and each of the last four, as I mentioned, has been decided by a touchdown or less. Dan Mullen in his first year here after a very successful 9 years at Mississippi State, former offensive coordinator here. And Ed Orgeron in his third year, and he has quieted the critics big time in the first month and a half of the season.
And they both have a big road win in their resume. You know, Florida knocking off Mississippi State, huge for Dan, and that Auburn win for LSU. That's really when this team started believing that they had the right guy in Joe Burrow.
Florida won the toss, deferred. As you saw, LSU's return men drop back to the goal line. We'll see Evan McPherson, a freshman kicker, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Nick Brosette are back deep. And LSU will start at the 25-yard line. The Chick-fil-A starting lineup. And it all starts with number 9. Gary already talked about him. Coming off an unbelievable game against Ole Miss last week. There's his numbers. Hasn't been intercepted. That's key. The rest of the offensive line, they've shuffled their offensive line virtually every game. This is what they're going to have at least out there to start today. Nick Brosette has 6 rushing touchdowns and close to 500 yards on the ground to lead the ground attack. And usually the team that wins the ground game in this game wins the ball game as well. Justin Jefferson was the motion man, and it's Burrow off play action on first down and going deep for Jefferson. Got him. One play and a big one to Justin Jefferson.
Well, he's become the go-to guy in this offense. He's had 3 games with 5 catches. And Justin Jefferson, who wasn't a big-time recruit, but great bloodlines, and they pick on the new corner. Remember, Marco Wilson, their starting corner at the beginning of the season, down with a knee injury against Kentucky, and they go right after the new player.
38-yard pickup, and immediately LSU in Gatorland at the 37. Quick handoff and a quick drop there. David Reese. No, it was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, one of the captains of the defense that made the stop. Part of the defense that looks like this. I guess I had David Reese on my mind. He's healthy. That was a big key. He didn't play against Kentucky, and that hurt him in that game. Quick snap by LSU, and it's out in the flat. To Brosette down the sideline, and he's got a first down.
Well, I'll tell you, you got to hand this one to the offensive coordinator, Steve Emsinger, on this one. This formation fooled Florida. They got outflanked instantly. You get around the corner, that's just easy. Because one of the things coming into this game was, could LSU get outside the fast Florida defense?
Now the inside run and driving for 5 more to the 20 is Nick Brosette.
Just how much more confident does LSU look on offense? I mean, we've done so many games the last couple of years where they were managing, let's not make mistakes. Let's be careful.
They're attacking it right now.
You got it.
Here's a stretch, and it cut back to the inside for Brissett. He's got another first down. So in the red zone already. Last year, we saw a lot of jet sweeps, a ton of them, and a lot of more motion.
Yeah,
like
that's
this.
Not a big package for them this year, but they got to find different ways to get outside this Florida defense.
That time Florida stiffened up as Donovan Steiner made the stop on Brissett. No gain.
That was a Matt Canada offense that caught this Florida defense on its heels with that package of shifts, overloads, tackle over, and got a couple big plays to sneak away with the win and the missed extra point.
That play 2 plays ago was not a first down.
No.
If I correct myself, and the last carry was at the 15, 1st and 10. Edwards-Helaire, little cut inside. Little jump cut got him about 4 yards down around the 11. Edwards-Helaire and Brissett sharing most of the load. Leonard Fournette has been getting a little more playing time the last couple of weeks as well. Derek Dillon, I think, brought in the play from the bench.
And this is the formation that LSU likes to lose inside the 20-yard line. They've had 35 snaps and 3 wide receivers.
Burrow getting some pressure. The fade to the corner. Overshot Jefferson. He went airborne but couldn't quite get to it.
You know, you got man-to-man out here. Pick your guy. You go with the fade on the play. Stutter and go. Could have been completed, but it would have taken a perfect pass. When you play man-to-man coverage, you're depending on that quarterback every once in a while missing that throw.
3 wideouts all to the right now. Jefferson in motion back the other way. On 3rd down and 6, they can get a first down around the 4-yard line. Burrow, the quick slant. They've got the first down inside the 4-yard line. A 1st and goal. D. Anderson on the catch.
I'll tell you, this is the pass that Joe Burrow throws confidently. He puts it into the body of the receiver, and he allows the big receivers for LSU. D. Anderson goes 6'6" to just box out.
Brissett, easy touchdown LSU on their opening drive. His 7th of the year.
A perfect drive for LSU. Started out with a big play and ended up with a power play. You got to figure this was scripted, but they also showed they could play physical if they had to. And you see Charles, number 77, getting the big block on that play and getting it into the end zone.
And a flag down for the extra point.
You know, the other block they saw in the corner of my eye, Adrian McGee, number 73, who's playing left guard in this game. He was starting at right tackle. They moved him in for Brumfield. He got a big block as well.
Legal substitution on the defense, 12 men in the formation. That penalty will be declined.
They really wanted to block the extra point. So Cole Tracy, who's perfect this year on extra points, 19 of 19.
Yeah, I'll tell you who was perfect also. Steve Emslinger, offensive coordinator for LSU. What a script to start with, huh?
No doubt. What a drive it was. 10 plays. It started with a bang. A 38-yarder, Joe Burrow to his favorite target, Justin Jefferson. That started things, got it in Gator territory. Then in the red zone, the slant got him 1st and goal. Nick Brissett says, I'll do the rest, fellas. His 7th rushing touchdown of the year. Tigers 7-0.
Adam Zucker, New York, with this Zaxby's update from the Texas State Fair. After Oklahoma scored 21 straight to tie it, it's Cameron Dicker, the freshman kicker from Austin, with the winner from 40 yards out. 48-45, Texas takes it. Highest scoring game in series history. Back to the Swamp.
Well, they're going to have T-shirts that say Dicker the kick after that one, I guess. And the first win against a top 10 team in a while. Longhorns, after that little stumble against Maryland early, have looked pretty good, haven't they? LSU couldn't have looked any better on their opening drive. And Florida Likewise, we'll start at the 25. We take you back to the touchdown.
Well, Brad told you that there's been 5 different offensive line changes for this team, but they might have found a good one here. Sadiq Charles and Adrian McGee. Watch the 2 guys on that left side clear the way and just walk in. Cushenberry, the center, also gets his man. Being able to run untouched in the end zone doesn't happen often enough. And, you know, I don't know if they've had a better start, but I remember when they had one just as good. Auburn, first possession, they scored to make it 7-0.
You're right. Good point. So here's the first snap. Empty backfield for Felipe Franks. The Gators from their 25, and Felipe comes up firing and a slant and caught out at the 30. Pickup of 5 to Van Jefferson as we check Chick-fil-A's starting lineups for you, and it all starts with number 13 and a much more confident Felipe Franks. He already has 3 more touchdown passes as you look at his numbers than he had all of last year. And that first snap and catch got him a little over 5 yards. Second down and 5 on the ground. And this is Jordan Scarlett, and he's got a Gator first down. So 2 plays and 1 first down. The offense, the rest of the group that joins Felipe and Jordan Scarlett. Van Jefferson, the guy that caught the first pass on the first snap, has been the leading receiver as far as touchdowns for the Gators with 3 so far this year. Gators from their own 37. Felipe Franks getting pressure, going to go deep. And overshot everybody, and he took one right in the chest from Breeden Fehoko.
Breeden Fehoko, one of those emerging players for LSU.
On the nose tackle, Devin White, you'll see him everywhere, number 40. And here's what Fehoko did to Felipe when he got rid of the football.
He hurried to throw, and that's why he has no chance for a completion.
3 wideouts to the top of the screen for Franks on 2nd and 10, but they'll keep it on the ground as Scarlett puts his foot in the turf and had a nice cut for about 4 yards and bring up 3rd down.
Excuse me, Brad, if you notice that formation, 3 receivers to the wide field and then run to it. Dan Mullen was very successful last year at Mississippi State against LSU, and Dave Aranda, the coordinator. It's a storyline going into this game. Both coaching staffs mentioned it to me that they got us last year running wide. We must defend the edge better, and Dan Mullen just tested it right there.
3rd down and 7. Gators a 36% team on 3rd down. Franks has time, lofts it, and he lofted it too far into the Tigers sideline.
Yeah, that was bad on almost all areas. First of all, the receiver had a tough time finding it that time because it was dead into the sun on the play. Grimes looked back, but it really would not have mattered on the play because the ball wasn't even in the field of play. If you keep it in the field of play, that's a completion, not a good throw from Franks.
So Florida forced to punt. Tommy Townsend in to kick. A wobbler, fair caught at around the 22 or 23 yard line by Jonathan Giles. So 5 minutes in, the Tigers 7 points up. CBS Super Bowl season continues tomorrow. Jacksonville's defense, can they slow down Patrick Mahomes? Can anybody? Oakland and the Chargers get together late. You can kick off your Sunday. JB, Nate, Boomer, Phil, the coach, all get things powered by Ram trucks at noon Eastern tomorrow.
I got a protest on that Oakland-Cleveland game that's still being filed, by the way. My team got jabbed.
I agree with you. Well, the opening possession was picture perfect for LSU. Let's see what they do the second time around.
Florida believes that if they get LSU into passing situations and they can tee off, their defensive ends can dominate the game. The question is, can they get them into that position?
That would be Polite and Jefferson and Zuniga, that group. 3 receivers to the near side for Joe Burrow. Quick throw out complete to Giles, and he's going down for a loss of 1. Nice play by Gardner Johnson. Second nice play by Chauncey so far this quarter.
And, you know, look what he did before the snap that made it happen. He moved the safety over to him to allow him to go. The blitz is going to come off the slot, and he moving that safety over helped the play.
Nice throw and catch to the outside of the first down. Stephon Sullivan, and a pickup of 11. So far, Joe Burrow's been right on the mark, with the exception of that fade to the end zone. On the handoff,
face mask.
Edwards-Helaire, he got face masked by Zuniga. So that'll give him another first down.
And again, this is the one as a coach.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense. Number 92, 15 yards from the previous spot. First down.
Sometimes as a coach, you know, you look at the stat sheet and go, well, we had too many penalties, but that's one you just got to live with. You know, I mean, it's like having an aggressive passing quarterback. Eventually, he's going to throw one to the other guys.
Right.
And if you got an aggressive defensive line, they're reaching out, they're going to get a handful every once in a while.
As you go in the LSU huddle, and as they break it, they're right at the 50-yard line. They fake the jet sweep, and it's Edwards-Helaire for about 6. Nice, tough run. He took Kyrie Campbell with him for the last couple of those yards.
Again, a beautiful game plan evolving by LSU. Remember, we showed you the success of the jet sweep. Florida saw the films, just like I watched them. They all were stepping wide that time, and they run the ball right up the gut.
Got 6 out of it. Again, they have the motion, same looking play. Edwards-Helaire, nice move in the traffic, and now he's just taking guys with him. What a run.
I think some of the yardage should go to Shadik Charles, number 77 on the play, okay? Great call early. Then the great footwork by Helaire. And then watch at the end. Charles, number 77, actually gains the last 6 yards himself. Has to go in those stats.
They ended up running it for 16 as a group down to the 28-yard line.
And again, off of the jet sweep action. Same look, unbalanced line. They're going to show it again.
Here they come. And again, they fake it. Now look out from behind. Joe Burrow balls out. I think they're going to rule it a pass, but maybe not. Florida's got the ball right now. No indication yet. Was his arm going forward? They say no.
I don't think so. Bashawn Joseph, number 11, the blitz. Todd Grantham is known for it. Polite 99 and Joseph 11. Let's see who got the exact play. Coming around the corner this way. 99's going to get it. He strips it. All-out blitz. That caused the angle for Polite to get there, and he strips it. And I don't think he was thrown. I think that ball came loose.
That is the 11th fumble recovery this year for the Florida defense. That's number 1 in the country, and they got the ball back.
As you remember, it was an unbalanced line with that jet sweep look, and what you're going to get is the aggressiveness of Ted Grantham, offensive coordinator, Todd Grantham, excuse me, from Florida. He comes out all blitz, allows Polite to get the sack and the turnover. We looked at it a couple times during commercials. I think the ball comes clean before he throws it. Not much to look at or replay.
You know me, always like the NFL looking out for the quarterback.
Yep.
If that was you, you'd say, I was throwing, man.
I might, but I'd lose. Here's that look again. 3 wide receivers to the wide field. Can they run the ball wide?
Martez Ivey with the false start.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Florida, I talked about the forced fumbles and fumble recoveries. 9 forced and 11 fumble recoveries. A couple of those their own. Michael Pirine First appearance for him today.
Now watch very closely that Mississippi State LSU game when Dan Mullen at Mississippi State torched him with the running game. But one thing I did notice, Rashard Lawrence, number 90, he didn't play in that game. If you just watch that last play, he blew up that last play.
Second down at 14 as we approach 7 minutes in the first quarter. Play fake. Felipe scanning the field, throws incomplete, intended for Tyree Cleveland. Broken up by Christian Fulton.
Well, the crowd thought that Fulton got there a little early. Two things to notice. Plenty of time for Franks to pick out his third receiver. And does Fulton get there early? It wasn't a very good throw.
No. Was it tipped?
Was it?
No,
yes, it was.
It wasn't a very good throw.
Yes.
Fehoko got
And by the way, once it's tipped, it cannot be pass interference. You can't. Doesn't matter if you get there early or not.
Another third and long. Not what Florida was looking for here. After the turnover. Maybe a blitz coming off the corner. They're going to bring it. Franks is in trouble. Got out of it. Long way to go to run for it. And, oh, what a hit. He's within a foot, I think.
What did we talk about? That toughness was going to determine this football game. When you're struggling moving the ball, it's third and long. You just missed a pass. You got to go for it. And he did. Now, does Florida go for it?
Devin White with the collision with Felipe Franks. Along with Trevez Moore. And it's 4th and 1, and the offense is still out there.
Be careful of number 40, White. He loves to backdoor these short yardage plays. If they even run it.
They're 75% on their 4th down conversions.
On the offense.
Now they'll punt it.
Number 13. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So they had a quick look at the line of scrimmage, and now they'll bring out Tommy Townsend again.
It would be too early in this football game to take that type of a gamble.
Yeah.
Great play by Felipe Franks, though. His team will notice that. Remember, Franks was an original commit to LSU, then backed out near signing day to go to Florida.
The punt taken at the 15 and dropped for a couple-yard loss. Tyree Cleveland on the special teams. Nice play by the starting wide receiver.
It helps to be fast, and he got there and made the wrap-up, didn't he?
Monday on CBS, can Hawaii's best private investigators solve the mystery of the woman with two faces? They found a 300-pound tuna last week on the show. I'm sure they can find here. New Magnum PI Monday, 9/8 Central, only CBS. Worst starting field position for LSU, but this is their third possession at the 13-yard line. Nick Brosette. He's going to get dumped for a couple-yard loss. Nice force by Rashawn Joseph.
If you talk to all the coaches in the league, the first thing they talk about is Florida's speed on defense, that they run down these sideline plays. Really hard for those 300-pound linemen to get on those linebackers.
They call it a loss of 1, a second and 11 as Burrow comes up firing, complete. Going to be short of the first down on the throw to Terrence Marshall, the big freshman.
Here's how a quarterback makes the offense look good and makes it work. Watch how early Burrow throws the ball before the receiver even turns around.
What a play defensively by Jabari Zuniga. And the Tigers will have to punt.
Zuniga, polite, making those plays inside. There he is, the right defensive end for Florida on the left side of the LSU line, and he gets into the backfield and makes the play.
So Zach Von Rosenberg will come in to punt as you look behind. Freddie Swain
Great decision by Dan Mullen, not going for it. He's going to get the ball in the same spot.
Swain's an excellent punt returner. If he can get his hands on one from the 45. Not going to get away. Nice job on the special teams that time as well by Todd Harris, holding on for dear life. Some really good punt coverage on the last two kicks.
So that has to be within 2 yards of where they were going to go for it on the last series, right? Where that ball is right now. So you play good defense, you get the ball right back in the same situation, 1st and 10.
Come on, your sports news and highlights straight without the noise. Stream CBS Sports HQ, the all-new 24/7 Sports News Network, available on your phone, computer, and connected TV devices. CBS Sports HQ, sports for true fans.
First charge,
we got a
timeout,
taken
LSU.
by LSU.
Yeah, LSU did not have enough players on the field, or they substituted wrongly and might have had 12. It looked like they had 10, and they took an early timeout. Andre Anthony was running on the field late.
First 11 minutes, as you saw, that graphic has been all LSU offensively. But Felipe Franks has got it back with 4:13 remaining in the quarter as we check in with Jamie.
Guys, trash talking happens at all levels. And you know where it exists? On Twitter. 2 former coaches for these programs had a little back and forth. First, Les Miles puts it out there. Hey, Steve Spurrier, how much do you want to bet our Gators? Your Gators are going down this weekend. #GameOn. Well, Steve Spurrier had a little wager to put on it. He said, shoot, we're going to win on Saturday. If we don't, I'll eat some of that grass of yours up there. And if not, you can wear my visor. Gary, what do you think?
I think somebody typed those out for both of them, to tell you the truth.
Les came back to set a visor is only half a cap.
I think Les told one of his kids to say it, and Steve said, hey, somebody help me here with this.
Felipe Franks down the middle and knocked away, incomplete.
You know, 9 of 19 passes that Franks completed last week against Mississippi State were at or behind the line of scrimmage. That's much tougher to do against LSU. They man-to-man you, they move up, they force you to move back in the pocket, hold the ball, and throw the ball downfield. No cheapies so far.
And only 1 completion so far in 5 attempts, and only 6 yards. 2nd down and 10 at the 45. Scarlett in the backfield with Felipe Franks. They fake it to him. Felipe's going to take off on his own, trying to get to the edge, and he's not going to get very far. Ray Thornton, after about a 3-yard pickup, took him out of bounds right in front of his coach. And it's 3rd down and long again. Under 4 minutes remaining in the quarter. The Gators trying to get into LSU territory here with a 3rd down and 7.
LSU's brought in their pass rushes. See if the 4 of them can get there.
Franks is pointing at number 40. I would too if I was him. Pump fake. The throw is complete to Swain. Nope, the ball came out. Freddie Swain had his hands on it. Ripped out of there by Kerry Vincent. I think the delayed blitz by White was what got to him, wasn't it, Gary?
And I think that's what you know in your mind with Dave Aranda bringing the linebackers. You don't have time. You have to get rid of it. And that LSU defense has confidence in their tackling ability. You may complete the pass, but we're going to tackle you short of that 1st down marker.
So another punting situation for the Gators. Jonathan Giles way down on the other end. Calls a fair catch and backpedals to the 5. Maybe should have let that one go. So LSU buried in their own end. And now do Project Smarter, presented by the Home Depot.
Well, you got to have a quarterback on defense, and this time it's Chauncey Gardner-Johnson saying, get over here, get over it. We got a blitz on from the slot. The quarterbacking and helping out the defense. If he doesn't move over, it doesn't allow Gardner to get into his spot to make the play for the defense. It all has to work together, and the smart play was made by number 23.
The captain of the defense, or one of them. Well, LSU, the good news, they've got a 7-point lead. The bad news is they're at their own 5-yard line. Edwards-Helaire, in fact, is in the end zone, and he'll get the carry. And he stood up. I don't think he got much at all.
Well, you know, early in the game, LSU was able to get the Florida defense off balance with their perimeter passes and getting outside. Now, the last two series, they have not been able to do it, and that Florida defense is starting to set their cleats in the ground and make it rough sledding for the running game.
They gave him about a half a yard, second down, a long 9, an entire shift over to the left side for LSU as the pitch goes that way to Edwards-Helaire, trying to get to the edge. He's going to be about 2 or 3 yards shot. Ooh, I think there was a punch thrown at the end of that play. I don't see a flag yet.
I have to smile because Matt Canada never really connected with Coach Orgeron. Okay, but on that play right there, Steve Emsinger stole that offense. The shift and the run wide, and as Brad says, oh yeah, a late punch. And Florida's very, very lucky that they didn't get a player thrown out of the game.
3rd down and 4. Giles in motion, sets up in the slot. Burrow, backside pressure, down he goes again. Rashawn Joseph with a big sack.
The running back whiffed. As a quarterback, you depend on your protection. And when your running back misses the outside linebacker, you don't know it. Number 11 right here. Watch the running back come out and just whiff. That had to be a busted assignment by that LSU offensive line because 2 guys can't come clean like that.
You got to be careful of Gervon Rosenberg way in your own end zone. Freddie Swain has it around the 43. So Florida still hasn't scored, but they've got great field position with 1:11 remaining first quarter. We're back to live action with Lamichael Pirine with a 2-yard gain.
Let me try to clarify this last sack again. I think, second look, like Joe Burrow should have kept coming because you can see the LSU line slide and the running back can only take one of the 2. I think that one's on the quarterback after you look at it a second time.
Pirine stays as the single setback. The shift of tight ends from right to left on 2nd down and 8. And here's the jet sweep. Kadarius Toney. Toney got a first down. They use him in a lot of different positions. And he's got a first down for the Gators as the first quarter starting to wind down to a close.
Well, Dan Mullen should be able to figure out a way to get the ball to Kadarius Toney. Now, he's not Percy Harvin, but he's the type of player you got to figure out ways to get the ball in his hands. He's averaging over 11 yards every time he touches it.
First down at the 32. Pirine, nice hope. Off the right side, got a decent gain, but the quarter's going to close, and LSU hasn't allowed a first quarter touchdown now in 10 consecutive games dating back to last year. They get out of the quarter without Florida scoring. The end of one. LSU took the opening march all the way down to score. Our only score of the first 15 minutes, 7-0 Tigers. We'll return to Gainesville after this message and a word from your local station.
Okay, let's go. This isn't a regular SUV test drive. Turn right here. Here? Yeah.
During the Jeep Adventure Days event, discover deals as legendary as Jeep SUV's 4x4 capability. And the confidence to go where you've never gone before. It's more than just a test drive. It's your first adventure.
That was awesome. Get used to it.
Started off with a great deal at the Jeep Adventure Days event.
This was the scene moments ago here in Gainesville, the unveiling of the 6th member of the Ring of Honor of Gator greats, Tim Tebow, the Heisman Trophy winner and national champion from 10 years ago, part of his team back here. And Tim speaking to the crowd during the timeout. We had a chance to spend some time with Tim at practice the other day, and then in the lobby of the hotel last night when he came downstairs, it immediately becomes a parade. But what a great player, great guy. You did a lot of his games, so did I.
Yeah. And he has great patience for the fans and respect for the fans. You know, he's never too busy to stop one more time, sign one more autograph. I think I respect that about him even more, his great ability as a player.
So a great honor going into the Ring of Honor, one of 6 with the likes of Jack Youngblood and Wilbur Marshall and Emmett Smith and Steve Spurrier and Danny Werfel, and I think I got them all. I was doing that off the top of my head. If I missed somebody, I apologize. So to start the second quarter, 2nd down and 5. Felipe Franks throws the out complete. Nice pitch and catch to Morrill Stevens, who caught the winning touchdown pass last week in the victory over Mississippi State.
Grant Delpit was not on the field for that play. His helmet popped off on the play at the end of the quarter, so he wasn't out there. He's out there now, but their great safety, number 9, was not out there.
So Florida in the red zone. 19 out of 20 scoring down there this year. Here's a nice tough run on the inside by LaMichael Pirine again. Got it just outside the 15.
You know, I'm going to give some credit to Franks on this. That long run on 3rd down. Remember, the theme of the week has been all week by both coaches.
Toughness.
Who's tough?
Physical, right.
And I think that really electrified that defense for Florida. The Florida defense now the last 3 possessions is forced fumble, 3 and out, 3 and out, and now the offense is going for Florida.
Just one pass in this drive, but it was good for a 1st down. 2nd and 6. Just outside the 15. Pirine trying to follow his blockers. Oh, what a run again. Still going. 1st and goal, Florida.
It was a great cut by LaMichael Pirine that time. I thought LSU had him cornered. But he, at the exact time, plants that left foot and cuts out right there. Look at that. Runs right through the arm tackle and makes the cut. That's that skill that the running backs had that, you know, as when you're recruiting a guy like that, I go, oh, yeah, I recognize that. I'll take that guy.
1st and goal at the 3. Pirine stays in there with Franks under center. He'll get it again, and he's driving toward the goal line, just shy.
Well, remember, 2nd down is the down that the genius, the creator, the scientist of the jump pass, Dan Mullen, likes to use play-action passes on 2nd down near the goal line.
I've seen one of those from this guy this year. We've seen him from the guy we just showed you in between quarters, the Heisman Trophy winner. Goes all the way back to Utah when they first started it.
Yep.
Pirine behind Franks. High snap. Pirine.
No, he did not.
Still not there. These are the things Gary was just talking about. Gary, you did this one.
Yeah, this was the one that Vern almost jumped out of the booth. I think Vern jumped higher than Tebow on that one.
Tim with some of his teammates down there. We have a man down as well.
It's the
Rashad Lawrence, I think.
Second play in a row that Lawrence has been stunned.
Chip, Nancy, thank you. We'll get back to that with the news department later. Right now, it's 3rd and goal, just inside the 1-yard line.
Remember,
for Florida.
Frank, 6'6". He needs 6 inches.
Easy walk-in, LaMichael Pirine touchdown. Well, he got him there. He deserved it. First 3rd down converted by the Gators, and they're a point away from tying it up.
I'll tell you, Morrell Stevens, number 82, and the fullback that time, get big blocks on the play. Watch Stevens. He seals the edge, and then he goes to the 2nd level. Seal it, go to the 2nd level, kick out block, and you crease right through it. R.J. Raymond gets a good block on it. 2 players at the point of attack do their job.
McPherson's point after is up and good.
You know, after that first drive, nobody thought it was going to be easy. We've watched too many of these.
A 43-yard drive after the punt from deep in their own territory. P. Ryan with a strong run here that got him down close. And then for the first time this year, he scores on a 1-yard run. 7-7 here at the Swamp. Tomorrow on CBS, see why critics are calling the new drama God Friended Me heartwarming and a truly original story. God Friended Me tomorrow after 60 minutes, only CBS. Packed house, the Gator fans doing the chop. So are the guys that aren't playing on the sideline. Well, some of them are playing. They just went 43 yards in 9 plays to tie the game up at 7 apiece.
This is my 9th game, and they all seem to have their own life, but I know this. There's only been a couple blowouts. These things usually go right down to the end.
You know, the last 4 have been decided by a touchdown or less. LSU, after that opening drive, has been stymied pretty well by the Florida defense. 75-yard march the first time they had it. Our aerial coverage is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl, and our CBS crew at the Swamp in Gainesville. And we've got you covered from every angle, including inside Cole Blothen's tuba. That's tuba cam. And then he's going a little crossways. He's got to get that thing out of the way so the fans can see. Play action for Burrow. Far sideline, easy pitch and catch. Stephon Sullivan. And a first down.
Well, the last 7 plays for LSU has been a fumble and 2 3-and-outs. So they dial up a pass play, and Joe Burrow calmly, again, he's the guy this year that the offense is looking at to say, you're our leader. We've seen you do this before in a game at Auburn. We saw what you did against Miami. He's the one the team now looks to for the leadership and the calmness here on the road.
Calmness to set a school record for passes without an interception. Here comes the jet sweep with Stephon Sullivan, who just had the catch on the previous play. He's got about 8 more, maybe 9.
This is the first time in the game we saw a shift with a toss to the running back. A little bit of Matt Canada's offense, the offensive coordinator from a year ago. When I talked to Steve Emsinger about it, I go, will you steal any of Matt's stuff? And he goes, a little. It worked.
You steal wherever you can get it from.
Absolutely.
Tell you what, that was well blocked. Had it not been played well by C.J. Henderson, he might still be running. Florida almost jumped on the inside. Kyrie Campbell got back. Second down and a yard. Nick Brossette behind Burrow will get the carry. He's got the first down.
Well, Vashawn has done it a couple of times. Vashawn Joseph, number 11, has cut through the hole and made big plays. But that time he cut into the hole and missed the tackle. He had it. He read it perfectly. Watch number 11 come into the backfield right there and cannot wrap it up.
Chris Curry in the backfield for the first time, a freshman. From the 50. They'll give him a try, and that didn't work out so well.
I tell you, LSU's going to have to open it up. Todd Grantham, defensive coordinator, was tired of watching that first drive. He's coming after him almost on every play right now. Off the edge, he's attacking this offense. 92 made the play, Zaninga, but another blitz by the safety, number 23, Gardner Johnson.
Burrow, more pressure from the backside. He's going down again. Vashawn Joseph, he didn't let the guy get away that time.
Ja'Kai Polite, number 99. We talked about it. Florida believes that in passing situations, they cannot be stopped going to the quarterback. They believe their edge rushers have an advantage, and so far they are right.
And now the crowd really coming to life for their defense on 3rd down and a mile.
You know the saying, stop the run, have some fun if you're on the defensive line.
And they got their ears pinned back, that front 4. That's how many they'll bring. Burrow's going to throw a middle screen to Brissett. Wow, he almost got the first down.
Well, and this is the area of the field now that Coach O, I think, will go for it. A lot of pressure, so what do? The little slip screen in the middle, and I think it's close enough to go for it. About 1.5 yards.
4th down. Joe Burrow looks to the sideline. They're 2 out of 3 on the season on 4th down.
They're going to take a timeout and think about it.
That's a good idea with 9 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in an important possession. That's how much time we've got left in the half. Tied at 7 in Gainesville.
Dean Blevins on the scene, on the story, News 9.
You and I agree occasionally. I thought he was closer to the first down than what they gave him.
I don't know if there's enough to move it up a half yard, but when I said they'd go for it, I thought it was going to be 4th and 1. This is almost 4th and 2.
As you look in on top of Joe Burrow, they got the extra tight ends in there. Brissett behind him. Burrow trying to draw him offside so far. Nobody flinched. And still Florida's Gators hold their tails. Now he runs back in. He's still got time. Maybe wants to take a snap. Nope. 0 for 3.
You know what? He's good at holding the audience, though, I'll tell you that.
Offense, number 9, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
You know, first instinct, I think, was it was going to be a yard. And then when you really saw where the ball was placed, I think Coach O said, no, thanks. Not going to do it.
So Josh Groden's going to punt. Freddie Swain is back. Florida came into the game ranked 11th in the country in punt returns at about 20 a return, and most of those were Freddie, including an 85-yarder for a touchdown. But they're going to keep it out of his hands as best they can. They'll down it inside the 10 around the 9.
Well, remember when Florida did it, they punted down there and they got a 3 and out. Let's see if the LSU defense can do the same.
Hard-hitting action from Florida, where we're tied in Gainesville. Florida game back in the SEC East standings to Kentucky and Georgia, both undefeated. Kentucky at A&M tonight. Georgia and Vandy get together. And with that, let's test your knowledge with today's Aflac trivia question, because I mentioned Kentucky. And Manny Snell scored his 40th rushing touchdown last week in his 31st game. Who set the record, the SEC record, by doing it in just 27 games? Chew on that one for a while, folks. 9 minutes remaining in the half. Florida right at its own 10-yard line. Jordan Scarlett got 11.
I tell you, you got to be good when you make number 40. White miss the tackle. That's exactly in the hole. Devin White was right there, and Scarlett runs right by him. Right there, missed tackle by Devin White.
Jordan Scarlett was suspended the entire year last season. Was welcomed back by Dan Mullen, who he says gave me a second chance, and I realized how much I miss football, and he's been a model citizen since. Got 11 yards on that carry. Give it to him again. And he pushes the pile, almost a face mask. He got a yard that time. Devin White, as always, seems to get up off the bottom of the pile or near the pile. Man, what a player. He had 13 tackles in this game a year ago, including a sack. Came in as a number 2 tackler in the conference.
And he also finished off the game by knocking down the last pass of the game to save it.
That's right.
I seen some draft projections having him going 3rd in the draft. First linebacker taken.
Felipe Franks in trouble, steps up. He's going to take off and get what he can. The slide's just a yard premature of the first down marker, but Micah Baskerville was waiting for him right there.
So the question was, would Dan Mullen trust his quarterback? I think he's going to have to. They're taking away the short throws. They're going to have to drop back occasionally and try to throw the ball downfield. Not giving them that Mississippi State defense where you got the chippies to the outside.
It's a full yard for sure on third down. Franks again. Put his head down and didn't get there.
Yeah, that's where they need a T-Buff.
Yeah, but he's not in pads.
He's not.
And a little slow to get up.
Get hit on that time. Both linebackers get in on the play.
Baskerville again.
White was on the other side.
Yep. So it's fourth down.
See, and Dan Mullen used to have it when he was here. He had Tim Tebow.
And then Nick Fitzgerald.
And Nick Fitzgerald. I mean, so that's part of his offense, and he's not used to going away for that quarterback run.
Didn't mean to slight Dak Prescott in that conversation.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him so fast.
Oh, did he touch the ball? He got on it anyway.
He did. And it was Cleveland again down there to kind of cause the commotion that forced almost a miscue.
Tyree Cleveland's had a better impact on the game as the punt coverage guy and a gunner than he has as a receiver today.
Daryl. Hey, Daryl.
Hey.
Hey, how much would you pay for something you don't want?
Nothing. Is this a test?
No. Question 2. Do you like getting stuff you like for free?
Yes, this feels like a test.
It's not. It's just why Verizon lets everyone in your family get the unlimited plan they need without paying for stuff they don't. And why Verizon gets you 6 months of free Apple Music.
Did I pass?
Not a test, but yeah, you passed.
Yeah.
The music you want, the unlimited plan you need on the network you deserve. Now get up to $300 off our latest phones.
Adam Zucker in New York coming up on the Geico Halftime Report. Rick, BJ, and I get you caught up on the day, including the Red River Showdown coming down to Cameron Dicker, the freshman kicker. The 40-yarder for the go-ahead and the win for Texas as we go back to the Swamp.
All right, Zuck, thanks. 7-7 here with 6.5 remaining. Defense for the Gators has kind of dug their claws in, Gary.
They sure did. They did it by being aggressive. That's the MO of this defense. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson coming from the secondary to get the tackle for loss. Rashawn Joseph, number 11 from the backside. Good blitz. Gets it from behind. That is the MO of defensive coordinator Todd Grantham there. We've seen him in Georgia. We saw him at Louisville. We saw him last year at Mississippi State. There's never a situation where he doesn't look at that blitz page and say, yeah, I think I got a blitz dialed up right here.
First down for the Tigers from their own 22. Straight handoff and another good run by Edwards-Helaire. Got a first down. I was just going to say he had a great game a couple of weeks ago at Louisiana Tech, and he's put up some pretty nice numbers today in the first half.
Yeah, I was going to say Foster Moreau, number 18, the tight end, did a really nice job of sticking to his guy, running with him, and not really. It was almost like a basketball screen. He just didn't allow his man to get it on the play.
Wearing that famous number 18 that's an honor to wear for LSU. The tight end. First down. Here comes pressure off the corner. The throws to Giles. Giles got to the 40. Talked about the tradition of wearing number 18. All started with Matt Mark when they won the national title in 03. Passed it on to Jacob Hester, another national title. Foster's wearing it right now, and he said when he became part of that pack, he started getting texts and phone calls from those other guys. He said, I thought I was in a pretty elite group, man. He is. That run carries them to the 45-yard line as we're under 5.5 to go.
Well, I think the LSU offense has found where to run the ball. They're running it number 18. Moreau is making those blocks.
Burrow's going to go deep on the sideline. Jefferson had it in his hands, couldn't control it as C.J. Henderson was right there with it.
Well, it was a good throw, but it felt to me, or as I watched it, Jefferson was stumbling just a little bit at the end of the play and really couldn't get everything coordinated. Fighting for the ball, incidental contact, good throw. Hey, that's good defense. You cannot ask your guy out there to do better than that. Bump and run, that's as close as you can get.
2nd and 10. Now the slant is complete. And it's short of the first down by about a yard to Derek Dillon.
receivers, throw it right at them, put it on their body, and they'll catch it.
And then on 3rd and 1, your quarterback takes off running, as he did a week ago for 96 yards and a touchdown. This time on 3rd and short, he rips off a big one.
You know, you blitz, sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. That time they were playing the running back, and a perfect keep by the quarterback probably was a read play. He pulled it and got a big play. The Burrow offense, throwing the ball and running the ball, has become a big weapon. You see it, very aggressive. You use their aggressiveness against them.
Guy that made the tackle is the guy that's down. We'll check on Chauncey Gardner-Johnson when we come back. That's a junior, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, going off, limping off after making that last tackle, but not before Burrow had 21 yards on the run down to the 24. LSU trying to pick up points here before halftime. Quick and throw out to Giles. He's drilled immediately by Trey Dean. Let's take you back to the injury.
I think it's when he planted his left leg on the tackle. Right there is when it happened. Kind of hyperextended it.
Second and 5. Edwards-Helaire a yard short. And the last time they came up with 3rd and 1, it was the quarterback run that kept the drive going.
Yes, remember, they played to the MO of the attacking defense for Florida. Now what do you dial up? You will throw one of those slants to your big receivers out there, or do you try to run against this attacking defense?
They give it to the tailback, and I think he's got it.
I don't know. I thought his knee came down. It's really close. I think it's just short, Ness.
Yep, you're right, if that's where they're going to put it.
It was an all-out blitz. Watch them all come from the secondary. You know what you're going to get. Boy, I'll tell you, this is closer than I think this should be reviewed.
I thought his left knee touched down at about the mark, and then the right knee hit second.
I thought his forward progress stopped when he was crossing the line. Yeah, boy, I think your eyes were correct. I'm surprised they're not reviewing this. It's a big first down call.
No kidding. It's not going to be a first down if they let this kick attempt go from 32 yards. And it doesn't matter anymore. And Cole Tracy drills it, as he has 10 other times already this year. So the drive ends in a field goal. And on the road, the Tigers up by 3.
It all started at one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
So LSU capped a 63-yard drive in 10 plays, almost 3.5 minutes off the clock. Had to settle for the field goal, but on the road, up 10-7. Set to kick it away. Avery Atkins will kick. Kadarius Toney and Freddie Swain, both dangerous guys on the other end if they can get their hands on it. But they won't. And it comes out to the 25.
On the field goal, I think the word came down that Foster Morrow, right there, number 18, was very lucky not to get called for using his hands outreach like that. It could have been a penalty on the play and taking the field goal off the board. And you see it. Coach O probably didn't see that, but somebody did in the box and said, you better let him know. Don't do it next time. Don't do it next time.
Let's see now. Florida can answer here before the break.
It'd be a big double because they get the ball to start the second half.
4 wideouts, 3 up to the left of Felipe Franks. He's looking that way. Now he tucked it down and goes back over the middle. And Perine on the reception, brought down by Ray Thornton.
Tried to go to the quick slant to his left. Wasn't there. thought he might run and wasn't there, pulled it back and used his 6'6" frame to throw over the top of it.
He is one tall guy. When he came into our meeting yesterday, I said, I knew you were tall, but man. Second down and 3. And nobody to fake it to, but the pitch is good on the corner. And it's Pirine, and he's in LSU territory at the 45-yard line.
I got to give this one to the play caller, because this time LSU did not have enough people to the outside to stop the quarterback and the pitch. You game plan those type of plays. You got the end man on the line of scrimmage and assignment football with no one to take the pitch man.
Pirine got 33 to the 45. And now the quick throw out in the flat to Van Jefferson. Jefferson, let's see where they spot him. He might have gotten another first down. I think he did. They're going to put it inside that 35-yard line around the 34. Should be good enough. So quickly, Florida moves from its own 25 to the 34 of the Tigers.
And that was a hot right there. That was an RPO with a hot. That was a corner blitz. Read perfectly by Franks.
Again, they're going to try the same play. And they got the same result. Pirine again. Got a flag down this time around the 30.
Same play again. They're walling off the linebackers. Oh, and a push from behind that time. Right at the end of the play, Tyler Jordan.
Illegal block in the back. Number 65 on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Jawan Taylor, number 65. You see, Dan did not like the call, but the push from behind was the call.
You talk about killing a buzz right there. Florida had everything working.
And the reason he's upset is he knew he had him again with the call. There's the push from behind. I think it's a good call.
Pirine's been big in this first half. 52 yards on 9 carries.
So you probe and you probe and you find a weakness through alignment on a play that will work. That's what the good play callers do.
This time 3 wideouts to the top. And Kadarius Toney is in there. We haven't seen a lot from him. On the Wildcat, takes the snap, gets it back to the 38.
Talked to the Florida coaching staff, and they said, we'll see a little Wildcat from Toney. I talked to Dave Aranda, and he said, we expect a lot of Wildcat from Toney.
Hasn't been quite as much as Dave thought.
Hasn't. Got all 3 timeouts left.
Minute and a half to play. 2nd and 14. Franks on play action, steps up, going deep to the corner, got his man. Is he in? Touchdown. Josh Hammond.
I think he's short, Brad.
Well, one official signal touchdown. They had a committee meeting over there, and they're going to bring it out, I guess.
This is a bust by Vincent. He's got a free safety in the middle of the field, and he takes the bait on the play. He's got to play outside. He's got help in the middle. It was a perfect throw, and you see the step out right there.
And a perfect Chick-fil-A pylon cam to show you that his left foot did go out at the 3. He did get to the pylon, but his left foot was out of bounds, so it's 1st and goal.
You have to shake your head when you're a defensive coach. You put a safety in the middle of the field, you tell the guy, you can't get beat outside. You got help inside. And what happens? You get beat to the corner.
1st and goal at the 3. Pirine with Franks. There's the fade back and the throw to the corner. Now it's a touchdown. Morrill Stevens.
Great series by Franks. Remember when the slant wasn't there and he came back to the outside? He read the option play perfectly and executed that. Then he hits the big pass down to the left sideline. What a series for the quarterback.
Extra point is up and good. What a drive by Florida to regain the lead. 75 yards in 7 plays. moments ago, I said, do they have an answer? Does Florida's offense have an answer? They did. 7 plays worth, 75 yards worth, and a Franks to Stevens touchdown. And the Gators are back in front. I should say in front for the first time. And they bring it out to the 25.
Well, we talked about Dan Mullen was going to have to use his quarterback to win this game. Look what he did. He schemed the option, perfectly executed. Then he gets the big pass to the outside. You got help in the middle. Why are you biting? You've got help right in the middle of the field, and nobody takes the play. That's got to be a bust. And then the one-man isolation play-action pass, the one that Tebow made famous for the touchdown pass to finish the drive.
LSU only has 1 timeout remaining with 69 seconds left here in the half. Burrow, quarterback draw, and he only got 2 yards out of it. And we're down to a minute. We asked you earlier our Aflac trivia question, testing your knowledge. Benny Snell talking about him 40th rushing touchdown last week in his 31st game. Who's got the SEC record? Herschel, who we saw last week.
It's always a safe bet. I'm surprised Florida didn't take a timeout, to tell you the truth. They've got all 3 and try to force a punt and block a kick.
Burrow going deep. Got a man out there. Just overshot Jefferson. Second time today. They just that close, but incomplete.
Yep. Good route by Jefferson. Best route runner on the team. He's in the slot. Ball overthrown by about a yard.
Well, now, 3rd down and 8. If they don't pick this up, or if LSU plays it conservatively, Florida will definitely take a timeout.
Well, either way here, Florida will take a timeout or it'll be an incomplete pass. Let's see if LSU will throw the ball. I suspect one of those slip screens.
It's going to be Brissett wasting a little time but gaining nothing, and now timeout Florida after a pickup of 1, you would expect. It is stopped at 28 seconds.
Yep.
Well, yes, it is stopped now. So Florida still might have a shot to pick up more points before halftime. Who knows? Coming up shortly, the Geico halftime report. Adam and Rick and BJ will have all the scores and highlights, a thrilling finish at the Red River rivalry and all the other earlier games, and talk about this one as well. Here's the punt upcoming, and they have the return on for Freddie Swain, but he's got to call a fair catch at the 30. So 21 seconds remaining and 2 timeouts for Florida. Well, Tuesday on CBS from Dick Wolf, executive producer of Law & Order, comes the new drama FBI. New episode Tuesday after NCIS, only CBS.
So you've worked real hard here to go 14-10. I don't think Dan Mullen will gamble here. I think he goes, if he does throw, I'd throw real deep. They get the ball to start the second half. I'd say let's go in at halftime 14-10.
We know one thing about this guy. He can throw it a long way.
He can throw it a long way. The other thing is you go in with your quarterback feeling great about himself, too.
Remember the finish of the Tennessee game last year? They were about on this spot on the field when Felipe Franks uncorked one to end the game to Tyree Cleveland. This time he's going to throw the first one away. If you missed the end of that game last year, everybody said to me, man, you guys had a great game. I said, no, we had a good 9 seconds is what we had. This was part of that 9 seconds. The long ball, perfectly thrown, about 66 yards in the air. It was officially a 63-yard touchdown, and Florida a win over Tennessee.
I think they have to run the ball here. They don't want to punt, and if they run it here, LSU only has 1 timeout. They can get out of the half. You have to run it here.
And they do with Scarlett. And Jordan Scarlett, tough 5 or 6 yards. And that should bring the half to a close. Remember, it's about 100 degrees down on the field, too. And I think right now the 2 coaches, let's go to the locker room. We got a lot of football left, but we've had some great football through 2 quarters at the Swamp in Gainesville. And Florida, with that late scoring drive in the final couple of minutes, takes a halftime lead to their home locker room. Leading 14-10. And as they head in, and before Dan Mullen heads in, he's going to be intercepted by Jamie Erdahl right about now. Go ahead, Jamie.
All right, Coach, that last touchdown drive for Felipe Franks, what was it about his decision-making that was the difference maker?
I know he's just executing cleaner, getting more comfortable with the looks they're giving us. They're giving us some different looks, which we knew they would coming in. Yeah, to see they weren't going to do what they did against us last year. So you knew they were getting different looks, and he's just getting more comfortable making the adjustments.
And how much Franks' toughness really embodying and representing this whole team?
Well, it is good in the pocket. He's doing a good job hanging in there. He's got to be a little more physical running the football, though, right there. Get us first downs on third down and second down situations and scrambles. But that'll come, and it'll keep everybody pumped up here in this unbelievable crowd today.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Well, Dan, you can't give him a 3rd and 14 and expect him to get 15 when you're running.
But I think it was the 3rd and 1 that bothered him.
That's the one he didn't like. Good game first half. Florida 14-10. Geico halftime report is next.
All right, Ness, thanks a lot. Coming up here on the Geico Halftime Report, Rick, BJ, and I will show you how the highest scoring game ever between Oklahoma and Texas ended in heartbreaking fashion for the Sooners after this word from your local station.
Let's go!
He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers.
Really hasn't been that many touchdowns that Mick called there, but at any rate, good first half, 14-10. Florida will get the ball to start the second half after an impressive drive in the final 3 minutes of the first half to take the lead for the first time today. And as is often the case, no return on the kickoff. As we bring you back in the booth, Brad and Gary, Jamie's down on the field. Two teams that pride themselves on not turning the ball over. We had a strip sack fumble, otherwise clean game, and both teams, you said it was going to be physical. You got to earn every yard.
And look at what did Dan Mullen tell Jamie right at the half? I want those short yardage runs. He knows the toughest and what it means. I think Franks, though, Felipe Franks, you got to give it to Dan Mullen. He found an edge. He found an option play, and then he took advantage of that to get that big last drive. That's all you need as a play caller. Give me something to hang my hat on, and then I can distort the defense.
Here's Felipe off play action on first down. Going long. Man out there, and he got him. On the run, a flag is down, but Josh Hammond has it all the way down to the 26-yard line on the first play of the third quarter.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to call this one back, though. I think it was holding before this thing was thrown. I'm not sure, but came out of the background. See a perfect pass. You had it exactly on target.
Would be a 49-yard play. There's the flag flying in. And the all-important call coming up. Matt Leffler, our referee.
I think Tyler Jordan, number 64.
There were 2 fouls against the play against LSU. Pass interference, number 25. That penalty is canceled. Personal foul, hands to the face, 45. That penalty being forced 15 yards from the end of the run. First down. First down.
So we're all used to those flags being thrown in the backfield being holding. This time, Michael Divinity, number 45, as he's rushing, you can see it right there, putting the hand to the face. That is what was called, and it is a good call.
Remember, Franks to Hammond set up the touchdown that got him down to the 3-yard line near the end of the second quarter. Now they got it all the way down with a penalty to the 13.
Remember, we talked about leaving the field with your quarterback having confidence. How about that confidence on that throw?
49-yard pickup plus the penalty. And now on first down, Franks once more to the end zone. Intercepted, and it's Delpit with the pick in the end zone. They give it right back.
Pressure inside by Fehoko, number 91. Throw off that back foot. Anybody might catch the ball. This time, number 9. He's right in the middle of the field. You got to know that pre-snap. Tough to go down the middle of the field when you got number 9 sitting in the middle of it. But the pressure up the middle. was the way that forced Franks to throw that ball before he wanted to. Give half of that to number 91, Fehoko.
I guess Morrill Stevens was the intended receiver, but with the hit, the ball went so high, it just drifted right to Delpit for his 3rd interception of the year. Gives it back to LSU.
On a first down call, too.
Burrow, the screen to Jefferson. Kind of a rough landing over there after a 4-yard pickup as we check in with Jamie.
Well, Gary, Brad, excuse me, my goodness, how can I get you two confused? Brad, when I talked to Coach O coming out of locker room, really the only question I had for him was, you've seen them for 1 half now, how do you beat them? He said we have to eliminate turnovers. I'm sure he meant create turnovers as well. Defensively, he wants to stop the short yardage run, and what you're seeing right here, they also want to protect Joe Burrow so he can get out of the pocket.
Well, we almost should have had a flag there. I thought the hands to the face. Maybe we did get one. Trey Dean looked like he tried to rip Jefferson's helmet off.
You know, it's funny, sometimes as a play call.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 23, 15-yard penalty, first down.
You know, sometimes on a play caller, you can feel you're on a roll, okay? Half ends well. You hit him for a big play. You get a penalty. The crowd's going crazy. You say, I'm going to go for the kill.
Get a little greedy?
Yeah, get a little greedy. I thought that first down call, you go for it all. When they work, we're up here singing your praises. When you don't, I guarantee you Dan Mullen is kicking himself right now.
So a big penalty on one side. LSU with a double penalty when Florida had the ball. Now Florida gives it right back to him out to the 48-yard line. A lot of action in the first minute of the 3rd quarter. Nick Brosette got it to midfield, and that's it. David Reese made the stop right at the midfield stripe. Our game trends. Felipe started rough. Since then, 6 out of 8, 113 yards, a touchdown, including that 49-yarder moments ago. 7 different guys Joe Burrow's used. LSU trail at halftime this season at Auburn. And we know what happened there because we were there. A big win at Jordan-Hare on the final kick in the final second of the game.
Both teams, I think, are feeling good. Florida's playing great defense, but LSU, as you just said, been here before.
On 2nd down and 8, they'll keep it on the ground to Brosette. Tough yard or two. David Reese has come out to play in this 3rd quarter, number 33.
You know, Brad, at halftime, one of the things I was going to tell you, we never have enough time, at least for me to talk, was that it was a pretty quiet game from the 2 inside linebackers, the 2 stars of the defense, Reese and White. Reese for Florida and White for LSU. That means good game planning. Stay away from their guys.
Got another linebacker down right now, O'Shawn Joseph for Florida.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me college football scores.
O'Shawn Joseph shaken up on that last tackle.
He's over here, number 11, right there, right side of the screen. I think his helmet kind of dings. I don't know if his shoulder got smashed or whatever, a stinger right there. But an important, remember, he was been a very effective blitzer on 3rd down, and now we got a 3rd and 6.
So the junior out of Miami, even though he's still got that helmet strapped up out for this play, at least 3rd and 6 for Burrow and Brosette in the backfield for LSU. Motion man is Jefferson. Burrow, here comes that backside pressure again. He feels it, but he's going to run with it, and he's not going to get there. Nice job by David Reese again.
That's that speed on defense. Jabari Saninga forces him out of the pocket. Nobody to throw. I think it was going to be a screen. I think that was a middle screen that got blown up inside. It was going to be that little slip screen to the running back. Nothing there and forced Burrow to just run out of the pocket.
I think David Reese heard us bragging about Devin White because that was quite a series right there for number 33. Josh Groden will try to tuck this one inside the 10 somewhere. End over end. Kick and fielded and drops. Ball is out. LSU's on top of it, but it was a muff. I don't know if he called a fair catch or not.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interference, though. I think Florida's going to get this ball back. I think this ball was interference on the catch.
There sure was a lot of blue. A lot of white around the blue, I should say. There's the fair catch called for.
Yeah, he was inside too close. Nope. That's going to be Florida football.
Kick catch interference on the kicking team. Number 27. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Leonard Fournette is the guy that didn't give him enough room to make the catch.
You know, we all sit up here and criticize the referees. It's an American tradition, correct? I mean, but they got this one right. Third down play one more time just to show you that it was a middle screen. If you look at the receivers downfield on the play, watch these three guys come out. They're all blocking on the play. Nobody to throw the ball to. Burrow comes out. He can't throw it if he wants to.
Yeah, the offensive line was 11 yards downfield. So now Felipe Franks, who had a rocket shot on the first snap of the third quarter that didn't produce any points because he threw an interception, goes back to work. They keep it on the ground for 3 or 4 as Delpit makes the stop on P-Rod. Michael Pirine had a great game a year ago in this contest. 12 carries for 70 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And today he's got 11 carries, 56 yards, and a score. Got 3 on the last one. Second down and 7. Franks is going to keep it. Nope, he's going to throw out in the flat. And this one is going back to the line of scrimmage to Josh Hammond, and that's it.
A little bit of everything in this offense. Remember, the short throws are being taken away by LSU. So successful last week against Mississippi State, but not this week.
Well, LSU, the secondary is one of their strengths with guys like Grant Delpit, who's got an interception, John Battle, who's their free safety, and a captain, Greedy Williams, maybe the best corner in the country, or at least one of the best. So that helps the cause. Third down and 6. They're going to blitz. They're going to run. And Pirine's not going to get anywhere near the first down. So Florida's got to kick it.
Uh-oh. Could be on both. It could be on both the Florida and the LSU player. Greedy
There's
Williams.
another one to the face.
Late punch thrown. Not sure, didn't get a number on who threw the punch.
Keymore Gamble threw one on Devin White. I didn't see the other ones. I think there was about 3. So we'll let these guys sort it out.
I don't know if the LSU, if they caught just the second one, if there was anything in front of the punch that happened, but you could see it.
We had a punch earlier that was missed. They didn't miss this one.
I know it's Greedy Williams. I think it's Kadarius Toney, number 4. We have this replay stuff that works really good that we can take a picture of.
Okay.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 4.
That's right.
That's number 4's first of the game. That's a 15-yard penalty. That was after the play, so it'll still be 4th down.
He's lucky it was
half
just
the distance.
lucky it was just unsportsmanlike conduct.
Toney and Williams matched up. 2 great athletes, but it's man-to-man combat out there. Blocking, and Toney just gets too frustrated on the play. Hey,
You're not supposed to do that, though.
You both did your job. Just go back to the bench and start over next time you get the ball.
Throwing punches is not how it works.
Well, and 15 yards in this game, in a 14-10 game in this game, or big 15 yards.
Not kidding. Tommy Townsend to punt near his own goal line. And fair catch called for at the 41, maybe the 42-yard line by Giles. So good field position for LSU. They've got the ball back when we come back. 10:22 remaining third quarter. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by The Home Depot, Bud Light, Aflac, and by Chick-fil-A. As the Century Tower overlooks the heart of the Florida campus, the bells inside the tower ring across the campus every quarter hour. That was Andrew Rocha who was playing the bells yesterday. I assume you take a cooler up there and your iPad and everything, and then every half an hour you let the bells fly. Rocket Mortgage and Quicken Loans brings you today's Scholar Athletes. Braden Fajoko's had a good game today, and David Reese, who had about every tackle earlier on that drive. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans showing their commitment to the investment of our future by donating $1,000 to LSU and Florida's General Scholarship Fund.
And good news for the Gators. Voshan Joseph, number 11, is back in the game.
For LSU, a first down at its own 42. Burrow wants to go long, comes back across the middle to Morrow, the tight end. And he's got it, a big gainer.
Well, if you're LSU, you do not feel bad about trusting your quarterback. He's 13 for 16 coming into the game. He deserves it. There is a flag on the play.
Joe is backing up to his own 30.
Holding. Offense, number 77, 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
This is a case where your quarterback knows because he's standing 40 yards downfield from the rest of the guys.
You're always the first one to find out. Sadiq Childs, number 77, was the guy that was called on the play. He is right here on the right side.
Negates a 26-yard pickup for Morrow, the tight end. There's a penalty story on the day.
And that makes, with this long yardage, makes those two defensive ends real factors in this game.
It gears up the defense, even though it's first down. They've got him back at the 32-yard line. Burrow, that one's tipped at the line, incomplete. Was going to be a slant to Giles. Might have been Campbell that got a hand on it.
So you have a perfect first down call. You get the position to get the ball, inside the 30-yard line. You're about to put some type of points on the board with your kicker, and a hold on the play puts you way behind the chains, especially with this fierce pass rush that Florida. Remember, their game plan was, we're better than them if it gets down to a pass rush game.
2nd and 20.
Chauncey Gardner also back in the game.
Burrow, little short screen pass out. Edwards-Helaire, and look at the Gators swarm around him.
When you have 23 in the game, he's your quarterback. He's moving everybody around. He's doing the things you have to do. Right off with that knee position, watch him do the work. He's moving everybody around, has played 3 years, and he is again in the right spot at the right time.
Now they're really going to get fired up in the swamp. 3rd and 21.
C.C. Jefferson, Chakai Polite, number 96 and number 99. There's 96, there's 99.
Joe Burrow pumps once. Now he's going to pull it down and try to keep it. One guy fell down, and then he got blasted out of bounds. If this isn't a flag, then they're going to force a punt, and it looks like it's okay.
Well, it's a good thing it's on the Florida side, on the bench there. Because if that happens in the LSU bench, you're going to get everybody calling it a penalty. I thought the Florida player stumbled into him, and it was a good no call. Gets to the sideline, hits him while he's inbound. Yes, pulled off very smartly by the Florida player. That's a great no call.
He was very polite.
Very polite. It was played, then it was 11. Wasn't it Joseph next that came over? Yes. I think Joseph not cleaning up on it was the reason he got away with it.
Freddie Swain hasn't been able to handle a punt cleanly. They're trying to get a return. This one's high and deep. And he's got to call a late fair catch around the 8-yard line.
Boy, he does call him late. You're right about that.
8:35 remaining. Big pass play to Hammond. Didn't result in any points, so we're still at 14-10. Next Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS. Best game for the best conference. You think this one's fun? This one should be just as much. Number 2, Georgia currently. Number 5, LSU currently. Get together, Death Valley and Baton Rouge. Next Saturday, day kicks off with Adam, Rick, and BJ. State Farm College Football today at 3 Eastern on CBS as we head to the Bayou. Wow. I remember back in college when the games looked like this to me once in a while, and I didn't have a tuba.
I don't know if you have to go as far back to college to tell you the truth.
Florida starts at the 8-yard line with a 4-point lead. 4 wideouts for Franks. Jordan Scarlett is with him in the backfield, and Felipe still looking over to Coach Mullen, who's about 25 yards downfield. And he's going to run it all the way here. And nice little spin. Got more than I thought he was going to get out of that as we check in with Jamie.
Well, guys, team meetings, player-led team meetings sometimes can have a bad connotation, but not for this LSU team. Ed Orgeron is so proud of the leadership a lot of these guys have, specifically on this defense. Bree Williams, for example, has that next-level talent, but Ed Orgeron told us that's not what they care about. They came together at the beginning of this season and said, we want to win a championship together.
They got some good ones all over that defense at every level. From the front to the linebackers to that secondary I mentioned earlier. Second down to 4. Jordan Scarlett hit in the backfield, fell forward for about a yard. And you talk about over the years some of the great guys that have come out of the secondary in Baton Rouge and ended up playing at the next level. And a lot of people think, Gary, these are the next 2.
Unless they get hurt, have a serious injury, it's a lock. Williams is as good a cover corner as we have in college football. And Grant Delpit, I read an article, his parents do not like him being compared to other players.
No,
have you heard that?
Right, yep.
You know who he reminds me of, though?
Go ahead.
I don't like to listen to him. He reminds me of Eric Berry type talent, the Tennessee strong safety.
That's a good one. 3rd and 2. Felipe Franks with time, short, but too short to Van Jefferson. Jefferson, I don't know if he ran the route too short or if that's all Franks had, but he's short of the first down.
If you look here, the guess by Dan Mullen is LSU's going to play man-to-man. Watch the 2 receivers come over here to block for the crossing route. Trouble is, LSU is playing zone. Nobody to pick. You come back, catch the ball, and no gain. You call one expecting man. That time, Dave Aranda guessed correctly.
But doesn't Van Jefferson have to get a hair deeper to know where he is on the field?
Yeah, and I think he doesn't have that yellow line out there.
That's true. Good point.
You're right. He should have, but when he saw those 2 picks, he thought somebody was chasing him, and he did not do it.
Second straight 3 and out. So the punt away, fielded at the 44 by Giles. And Giles back to the 42-yard line of Florida. Great field position again. If Florida's going to have to get their defense right back out there.
Yeah, Jonathan Giles went from number 7 to 12 for a little luck, and I thought he might have dialed it up there.
We'll tell you more about the number change when we come back. 14-10 Gators. Back in Gainesville. Tuesday on CBS, Mark Harmon stars an explosive new episode of NCIS Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. Mark, former UCLA quarterback who's done pretty well for himself. His daddy was a good one, old number 98, Tom Harmon. 3 first downs, 4 punts, and 1 turnover, and he's maybe shaking his head at those stats. But that's how good the defense on both sides has been. As we said at halftime, every yard's a big yard. And as Gary said, and when you give up penalty yards, you're really killing yourself. Great opportunity here for LSU, though, as they start in Gator territory at the 42. Oh, Burrow got rid of it. Morrow with the catch.
That's a spectacular play.
Wow.
That's a play that you just hope that your quarterback can make. It's impossible to teach. You spin around, you got a guy in your face, and throw it accurately, all within less than a second like that. Incredible play by Joe Burrow.
And a 14-yard pickup to the 28. Now the flare out to Brissett. Morrow trying to block for it. He got to the edge, but he only got about to the line of scrimmage.
You're trying to find ways to get outside this fast Florida defense. You turn around on the bootleg. You are taught on this play that when you turn around, expect the blitz. If it's not a blitz, then you can be calm. But expect someone in your face, and that's exactly what he did.
9 different receivers for Joe Burrow. 2nd and 10 at the 28 of the Gators. LSU trying to regain the lead on the sweep. That's going nowhere. Derek Dillon, he had a big one in this game a year ago, and he stopped in his tracks by Joseph.
I'll tell you, Bashan Joseph is having a spectacular football game here. Remember, he is chasing a wide receiver. He's an inside linebacker. Watch him move to his left and take the cutback. You think he's going to go wide. He does not. He gathers himself and makes the tackle. We're seeing some great football plays here. This is high-level defensive play by these guys, tackling people in space.
And Dan Mullen wants a timeout right now. I don't know if he doesn't like the look of his defense. He definitely wants to stop on 3rd and 10. Coach was trying to get the officials' attention. So he finally got it with just under 5 to go in the 3rd quarter. Timeout, Florida.
So as you call this play, you have to think back to last week. 4th and 10 situation. Positive territory. Todd Grantham brings an all-out blitz. As you call this play, what will Grantham do now? Will he sit back and depend on his pass rush? Looks like it. No. They're going to come again, I think.
They're dancing around over there on defense. They're going to come again.
Here they come.
Burrow throws the slant, and it's swallowed up by who else? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
It's just the way he lives. It's the way he coaches, Todd Grantham. Despite getting beat, you see it, a lot of sugarcoating here, but he still ends up coming at the end. When he was at Mississippi State, he called the blitz against Alabama and cost them the game. Touchdown pass. Comes right back to it to win a game last year, and now in this situation, he tries to knock LSU out of field goal range.
Cole Tracy, who hit a 42-yarder to beat Auburn on the final play of the game, and Jordan Hare will try a 42-yarder here to make it a one-point game, and it is up and good. We've seen that act before. 4:16 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Number 23 having a great game for the Gators. Forced the kick, and it's a one-point game. Remember, LSU had great field position, and the Florida defense shut them down. A big win for Florida to not give up any more ground. Just a 42-yard field goal, but just that 42-yard field goal has made it a one-point game. Avery Atkins to kick. And this one short and bobbled around and covered at about the 20-yard line by Keymore Gamble. Our aerial coverage is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right. If you're just joining us, you missed a good football game. LSU went right down the field. The opening drive, 75 yards for a touchdown. Lamichael Pirine, a 1-yard touchdown, evened things off for Florida. Then a field goal made it 10-7 LSU. Back came the Gators in the final couple minutes of the 2nd quarter. Got a touchdown just before intermission to go up 14-10. And now with that last field goal, 14-13. Florida with the lead. LSU, the number 5 team in the country, trying to win their 6th straight game this season. Florida trying to win number 5. And it's been a struggle all day long to get yards and points just like that.
Yeah, it seems like that interception has taken the sail out of this offense, right? I mean, everything's going great. You think you got everything in your favor, and all of a sudden one mistake, and it feels like nothing's working for this Florida offense again.
Remember, Franks, I didn't mention this, but the first play of the 3rd quarter had a 49-yard pass play. Unsportsmanlike conduct got him all the way down to the 13, and then he threw an interception in the end zone to Delpit. Here's a corner blitz. Franks hit as he throws, incomplete on the other end. Michael Divinity is down, and Franks looks like he's hurt. This was the interception I told you about after the big play. Got him down to the 13, and then trying to get it to his tight end, was hit as he threw, and he got hit as he threw this last one. Trust me, the look on his face, I didn't think he was going to get up.
No, I didn't either, and he's limping a bit because he was actually squished both sides. Delpit from one side, and then the other side, Divinity comes from the field. He got that sandwich.
Yeah, Franks are one thing to eat. Sandwiches for Felipe, not good.
I knew you'd go there.
3rd down and 10.
We were apart for a while, but I still knew you were going to go.
Here comes a blitz from the secondary. Franks, and he one-hops it. Closest guy was Pirine.
And it's a good thing he did, because there was nobody to throw to on the play. Kristen Fulton, number 22, had the receiver at the bottom of the field just covered like a blanket. A good throw would have been intercepted.
So 3 straight 3-and-outs. Felipe still feeling the effects, I think, of that last one. Jonathan Giles back as a punt returner. Townsend, whoa!
Great punt.
Wow. And Giles one-hops it back around the 15. And now coming the other way, and he's got a pretty good return. And then falls on his own at around the 33-yard line.
And then right at the end, the flag came out. That's where you have to have that discipline not to make that late block and really cost your team field position.
The late block that wasn't needed.
Looking. See if we can see anything. Yeah, to the right. Boy, that's a tough call.
Illegal block on the return, number 33 on the return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, the second down pass by Felipe Franks, Brad, you said that he may still be feeling it. I think you're right.
There's three guys.
Yep. Bend them around, didn't it?
You can be 6'6", but you can't go three different directions at the same time.
And when you got Rashard Lawrence coming over the top and you get bent back, yes, that one hurt.
So, back at the 22 is where LSU goes to work. Edwards-Helaire behind Burrow in a pistol set here. He gives it off to him, and David Reese is there to meet him at the line of scrimmage.
It's funny, at halftime I said, boy, it's been a quiet day for David Reese, but since then, he has just jumped up and he's been in the right spot all the time. Game's starting to get a little chippy. Whoa.
Is it ever?
Good job by C.J. Henderson not forcing a play there and doing something silly.
That was Sullivan that got a hands to the face on C.J. Henderson. Play action for Burrow. Loads it and fires deep left sideline. Overshot the intended receiver, Stephon Sullivan again. C.J. McWilliams was back there covering. That's third down and 10. We got a long ways to go, but the way this thing has been handled by the defense, you get the feeling that the last people that have the ball might win the game.
I've done 9 of them. That's been the trend. All for, I think, 2 games. It's been who has the ball last and which defense can make the big play.
Ooh, it's noisy in here right now. Jefferson in motion to the slot. Burrow. They might have blown this dead. Goes down the middle to Morrow that would have had a first down, but flags again at the start. Might have been Deculus who came out of his stance right there. Right.
It was.
Before the snap, false start. Offense, 76, 5 yards, third down.
And you think the fans were fired up on that last play? They will here too.
Well, it's like a double whammy for an offensive tackle when you play in the SEC on the road. The crowd is so loud you cannot hear the snap count, and then you have that fast guy in front of you.
On 3rd and 15, Burrow fires in the middle. Complete, but way short of the first down. Derek Dillon and that Gator defense, and number 33 and number 11, and they're there again.
Reed says to Joe Burrow, I don't have enough time to get a first down. I know my offensive line is struggling. I'm just going to have to take my medicine and throw the ball short, move it forward, and force the punt in this situation. Sometimes discretion is just what you have to do.
Yep. A punt's not the worst thing in the world, unless you get one blocked. And this is a dandy as well. Freddie Swain backpedaling over his head, and he's just going to have to leave it right there. It's going to be down around the 16-yard line.
Back-to-back great punts in this football game.
Let's check in with Jamie on Felipe Franks.
Well, he's coming back in the game, but this last series, before he sat with a towel over his head pretty much for the entirety of that series, he did go to the offensive line group and kind of rallied them together, but he looked to be in pain. He took a couple warm-up throws for that right shoulder, really trying to move it around, but that would be the thing to keep an eye on, guys.
He was bounced around a year ago, likewise this year, but he keeps getting up. After that 61-yard punt, the Gators have to start at their own 16. Jordan Scarlett with Felipe Franks in the Gator backfield. They faked it to him and come up throwing. Complete out and backpedaling is the tight end, Ciante Lewis, and he got about 9 out of it. Don't forget, later in the game, the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. That play of the game might still be living out there in the fourth quarter. We'll wait and see. We're down to 1:25 in the third.
In the game, Raymond, number 45, lined up right there. He got that strong formation that was successful on the goal line.
Oh, nice miss there. And Scarlett, I don't know how he made that guy miss in the backfield to get what he got. Watch this move in the backfield.
And Scarlett's supposed to be the power back. Mika Bakersfield, number 23, comes into the backfield and just, I don't want to say whiffs, because he was coming full speed on the play and just sidestepped on the play. Bakersfield is playing because Jacob Phillips obviously is not. That was a game-time decision, and I don't think I've seen him in the game at all in this game, number 6.
Tight formation to the right again with just one wide receiver down to the left. Jordan Scarlett again put his foot in the ground and cuts to the left side, and 2 tough runs back-to-back. He's out to the 41.
Can you run the ball when you have to? And this time, great job by Nick Buchanan, the center that time, number 66. He stayed with his block, and then what all the good ones do, they take you the way you want to go, and that's exactly what he did.
And that counter by Scarlett counts us down to end number 3. I don't think you want to go away, everybody. 15 to play at the end of 3. Florida hanging on for dear life at the Swamp, leading by 1. We'll return to Gainesville after this message and a word from your local station. One, the late Tom Petty in between quarters for the Florida fans. We start the 4th in a 1-point game. 2nd down and 4 for Florida. And the direct snap to Tony. Another Wildcat trying to get free, and he got the first down and then some. Tony out to midfield. He ran about 12 yards to get 4, but that's what he does. Here we go, partner. 15 left. This is kind of what we thought we were going to get.
Ben here's seen it before, and perfect was what you said. No backing down in this game from that 2007 game. You got to just keep playing because the guy across from you ain't backing down, so you have no choice.
This time Tony can't handle the snap, but he one-hops it to himself, and he got back about 3 yards shy of the line of scrimmage. So we didn't see a lot of that up until the first couple snaps of the quarter.
Well, when your quarterback is 6'6" and your Wildcat guy is 5'8", maybe that's the reason. I think that Felipe Franks could have caught that one, but it was high.
So Felipe says, okay, you left me with a 2nd and 14.
Right.
Meanwhile, Ed Alexander, one of the defensive tackles, down right now for the Tigers here early in the 4th quarter. It's time for our ExxonMobil game recap between the Tigers and the Gators. Joe Burrow has mixed it up, 18 of 23 for 163. No touchdowns, no interceptions, but he led them on a scoring drive to open the game. Then got the 2nd touchdown. Brissett and Nick-Nack Gator sack. They've had 3 of those today for the Florida defense. That's how they wanted to play. And you got to give Pirine a bone. 13 for 59 for Lameco, including a touchdown. And frankly, my dear, I'll lay it out there for the touchdown that gave him the lead back to the tight end. A mistake over the middle as Grant Delpit with his 3rd interception of the season. We've got a couple of field goals in there from Cole Tracy, and that's how we sit right now at 14-13.
And the Florida fans felt that Ed Alexander might have been embellishing this injury because he walked off the sideline and then just kind of went down on the play. Watch here, left side of the screen, number 99. I think as he bent over, though, he just cramped up. This is not a game where either team is doing hurry up. In fact, Dan Mullen on the year, this team is only averaging 59 plays a game, and that includes a game against Colorado State when they ran 83 plays.
I'm not 331 pounds either, but I think I'd be cramping up if I was down there.
Totally. That was no tactic there. That was just a big guy cramping up, needing some liquids.
Second down and 14 for Felipe Franks and the Gators offense. He's got Scarlett with him in the backfield. They fake it to him. Plenty of time to load and loft one long. Should be a flag. There it comes. Tyree Cleveland, the intended receiver. Christian Fulton just had too much of him.
That's why you have to throw the ball deep in college football. You're not going to complete them, but you're going to get interference called.
Defense, number 22, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
First he grabbed his bicep, and then right at the end he grabbed his wrist. Cleveland is a sprinter. We've seen it on the punt coverage, and that definitely slowed him down. I don't know if he could have got to that pass, but you're going to get called for 15 yards. And remember, it was long yardage for this Florida offense.
That's right.
That's another big penalty for this LSU offense, team in the second half. That's their fourth. Remember the punt down here? They've had 4 different penalties that have cost their team.
There's motion. False start on the left side on Martez Ivy. I still think if that's not pass interference, it's a touchdown. So that penalty wasn't so bad after all. But
5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, it's possible to know for sure. You're right, because Cleveland is a sprinter, and we saw him complete one just like that against Tennessee, right?
Yep. As you look in from high above with 14 minutes to play, 89,000 fans sitting on the edge of their seats and have been in this game that's been close throughout. Play action. Franks trying to get rid of it. Did somehow to the sideline. He had Michael Divinity draped all over him.
He's in the pocket. Now that ball has to be thrown to somebody. Divinity gets there and gets through 2 blockers. Is the ball thrown to somebody? Yes, there is a Florida player over there, and that's the 240 pounds of Franks that comes through on that play.
And lives for another play at second down and 15.
By the way, that's a linebacker that is close to 240 pounds as well. He shook off.
All 3 receivers to Frank's left. Looks that way, steps up, throws short to the 40, complete. And we go to New York, a Ford update. Here's Zook.
All right, Ness, thanks. The Buckeyes that trailed Indiana 17-14. That changed quickly. You think this guy's open? Paris Campbell gets the pass from Dwayne Haskins. 71 yards later, the Buckeyes are on top, 35-20. Haskins with 4 touchdowns, 5 incompletions. Back to you.
Kind of easy to pad your stats with a guy like that wide open.
LSU has been able to get really no pass rush with just their front 4. Coach Orgeron told us that's the biggest disappointment in this team. He does not have that guy who makes the offense get scared. Will he be forced to bring pressure?
Caleb on Chason would have been that guy. He's out for the year. Franks trying to buy himself some time. Throws, and it is complete to Kadarius Toney, short of the first down.
Does Toney get his foot down? Let's take a look here. I don't think, well, we can't tell in that one. It's his right foot.
Boy, that's bang, bang.
Right there, I don't see anything yet. I could overturn that yet. The blue of his shoe is close. That's how much expertise I'm going to give you so far.
Those are brand new cleats, too.
I don't think he's on the white. On that pick, I can't see that toe on the white.
On this one, it looked a little different right there.
It did, didn't it? Yeah, I think that evidence right there, it looks to me like his toe's on the line. Remember, there's a blue toe. A blue part of his shoe is more than just the white of his shoe. There's something in front. And yes, I think Greedy Williams giving him that little shove took that momentum and pushed him into the white line. I think it's going to come back.
Gerald Hodges is our replay official, so.
And it's really important because if it does come back, that'll make it about a 57, 58-yard field goal. If we could get Dunlap to move out of the way there. Nope, he's not in the way. Boy, this is, I'll tell you, different angles give you different looks on this play.
Yeah.
So if you're the replay official, how do you overturn it? It's a difference between a 57-yard field goal and a 48-yard field goal.
And McPherson has hit a 48-yard field goal, his longest of the season.
How can two pictures look so different?
After review, the player's foot was out of bounds. Therefore, it's an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down at the previous spot.
Two different views look different. I guess you only need one to make it incomplete.
So the punting unit has to come out. As Gary said, a drastic difference.
Yeah, because that would have been a field goal try for sure.
Tommy Townsend last week could have been almost the player of the game, the way he knocked 5 punts inside the 20-yard line in the win over Mississippi State. That's all he wants to do right here to keep Jonathan Giles from doing anything with it as a return man on the other end. Oh, that much too far. So he didn't keep it in the field of play, even though Cleveland was down there trying to field it right at the goal line.
I think he would have caught it easily if he didn't have to stop at the same time and keep his feet short of the line. He knew he was close to the line, and he tried to reach over and did not do it.
We're in a small room.
What? Welcome.
A bigger room?
How many of you use car insurance?
Oh.
Well, what if I showed you this?
Ho, ho, ho!
Wow.
It's a computer.
We compare rates to help you get the price and coverage that's right for you.
That's amazing. The only thing that would make this better is if my mom were here.
What an unexpected ending!
The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Royal Caribbean, Mercedes-Benz, New York Life, and by Sonic. The F-16s from earlier before the national anthem on the flyover here in Gainesville. And a look from our Chick-fil-A pylon can down low as we still have a 1-point game with 12:48 to go.
Can LSU find some help for Joe Burrow? They have not been able to run the ball, only 19 yards in the third quarter.
Here's Brissett finding him some room and some help. Nick Brissett all the way out to the 50.
Going into that play, the longest run of the day was by Joe Burrow for 21 yards. Remember, this is a Florida defense that gave up over 300 yards rushing against Kentucky. You've got to be able to keep the balance. Yes, Joe Burrow's having a good game, but LSU must get back in the game with the running game to help the passing game.
Brissett went 31 to the 49. In Gator territory, trailing by 1. They send Jefferson in motion. Fake it to Brissett. Burrow on the run, throws late and out of bounds. Oh, not out of bounds. Look out over there. Almost a sensational catch by Justin Jefferson. He just ran out of real estate on the far side.
I tell you, if you watch Justin Jefferson play out there as a wide receiver, he's smart. He runs good routes. He catches the ball. Of course, You know, his two brothers played at LSU. Not a big-time recruit, just a 3-star. But he did not even catch a pass for this team in 2017. But he has really emerged as one of the stars on their offense.
Well, you talked about the lineage. Of course, Jordan, his brother, played quarterback about 9 years ago. Ricky, his other brother, he's 5 years older, played defensive back. Here comes Brosette, and Nick Brosette on the way. Two biggest runs of the day, and it's 1st and goal.
You could feel it coming. You could feel that LSU went back there and said, we're having trouble, guys, protecting the quarterback. You're going to have to man up and make some blocks. You've got to help this offense out. You got to block them up front. There's no way to run away from it.
As Brosette comes right at you with pylon cam, that's where he stepped out.
Damian Lewis and Austin Deculus both produced great blocks on that play. And now you've got an extra offensive lineman in the game at playing right tight end.
2 more yards for LSU, and they've got the lead back. Flags before the snap.
12 men
Illegal
for Florida.
substitution on the defense. 12 in the formation. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Moves it just outside the 1.
Well, you know, there was nothing there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
So now it's at the 1-yard line. Let's see if Joe Burrow takes it himself. Nope, keeps it on the ground inside. Touchdown. Nick Brosette. He did all the work, and he got the final yard.
Coming into that drive, LSU had only rushed the ball for the game less than 100 yards. 95 yards coming into that game, and they went to the ground, and they took it to them. All of the yards on this drive came on the ground.
And they're set to go for 2 here with a 5-point lead to try to make it a touchdown. Game 7. Burrow under center. Jefferson, they fake it to him on the sweep. Burrow throwing to the back corner, broken up. Trey Dean, the freshman, knocks it away from Derek Dillon.
He did, and also Chauncey Gardner made a great play taking out the back in the flat, nowhere to go. Gardner Johnson, number 23, see him covering Brosette on the play, only one guy to throw to, and Dean makes the play.
Long drive, missed 2-point conversion, but LSU's back in front.
Sometimes in the running game, your running back has to make it go. Nick Brosette feels it and cuts it and makes it go. And sometimes the offensive linemen have to make it go. Watch 76, Austin Deculus right there. Watch him help on the snap and then go find the linebacker. 2 blocks on 1 play. You can't do better than that. That's what makes it go. Sometimes it's the running back. Sometimes it's the offensive line.
Well, the first run was 31. The second was 42. The last one was for the touchdown. 79 yards of that 80-yard drive in a minute and a half. Nick Brosette.
Got all choked up watching that pass blocking and run blocking.
You got choked up.
Cutting. Yes, I got all choked up on it.
And it'll come back out to the 25 for Florida. Now finding themselves trailing again by 5. Coming up after our game, stay tuned for the CBS Sports College Football postgame show presented by Capital One. I'm sure it'll be a capital job done by Zook and Rick and BJ. Here we still got a lot of football left. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl with 11:14 remaining. We talked about this about 3 hours ago, and it's come to fruition again. Last 4 decided by a touchdown or less.
Since the long pass, then the interception following, 4 for 9 Franks is for 16 yards.
And 3 3-and-outs. He looks left, has to come back the other way to throw it away. Devin White was getting in his face. Those two are having a little chat, a couple of smiles. Good sportsmanship there.
The signature of this LSU defense is if you play in the secondary for LSU, you better be ready to play man-to-man defense. And that's what they did right there. Played man-to-man, nowhere to go with the ball.
Second and 10 from the 25. Two tight ends in there for Florida right now. They're bunched in on the left. Franks fires one. Back shoulder throw and a beauty. Van Jefferson.
Cow. You went against two future NFL players right there. Greedy Williams on Van Jefferson. Watch this throw, and then Grant Delpit comes over and rips him. What a play. What concentration to hold on that ball.
Two guys that are going to be playing on Sundays sooner or later. And what a catch by Jefferson and a nice throw by Franks, and they're in LSU territory.
Sometimes one guy's just better than the other guy.
And Franks has to throw another one away.
Like I say, sometimes it's a scheme and sometimes it's just the guy.
Take a look at the Associated Press top 10. Alabama gave up some points, but put 65 up, 4 touchdown passes and 300 yards plus for Tua in the first half of that game. We mentioned Georgia's got a date with Vandy tonight. Clemson's putting it on Wake Forest. Zook told you about the Ohio State-Indiana game, and here number 5 is leading number 22 by 5.
And Oklahoma took a tough one.
They did. Well, they tried this play earlier. It was big. It is again. Lamichael P-Ryan all the way to the 32. LSU can't stop this one, Gare.
Well, Brett Hagee, number 61, does a great job on the option. Watch him come out right there, cleans up, and then blocks it, and nothing in the back that time. That option play has been a go-to play. Both teams have found a running game to help them in the fourth quarter here.
P-Ryan now is 76 on the ground. First down at the 32. Franks loads, fires, far side. Oh, not quite. I thought Grimes could hold it, but not quite.
I thought Fulton thought he had it, but the ball just kept flying. Strong arm by Felipe Franks. You could see Kristen Fulton says, I'm going to hit. No, it's not. It's over my head, and you're right. Grimes, I got it, and not as good as Van Jefferson.
And from Pylon Cam, I got it, I don't have it. Second and 10. All 3 receivers up top. On the ground, P-Ryan, maybe 3 more.
And Rashard Lawrence, number 90 that time, just was able to grab the shoestrings of the running back, or it would have gained 4 or 5 more yards. Number 90, middle of the screen. Watch him come off and just reach out and make the play. Just grab the toe.
And I tell you, Tyler Jordan got a good block on Devin White on that play as well. Here's Franks on the run. His coach wanted to be tough running. He does there to get inside the 20, down to the 17.
Well, this time, he didn't have to be as tough because the offensive line was cleaned out. Jawan Taylor, number 65, just crushed the right side of that running play, and it was open running for Felipe Franks as soon as he caught the ball.
2 out of 3 in the red zone, touchdown-wise today. Let's see if they can get another one. Here's an end-around pass. Back to Franks to the 3. Lucas Krull, a lefty, took the handoff and went right back to his quarterback.
Dan Mullen loves the gadget plays. You bring in a new player. No one at LSU knows he's left-handed.
The only reason I did is he'd throw that in practice the other day. At the 2-yard line. P-Ryan off tackle, touchdown, Florida.
What an answer. And now Florida will go for 2. A little bit of everything on this drive. Last play, Lucas Kroll threw. This play, he blocked and got his man into the end zone for the touchdown.
2-point attempt coming up to try to make it a field goal difference.
Tell you what, if you want to dial up a close game, just do LSU against Florida. They seem to always produce.
2-point conversion. Franks rolls, getting pressure, has to throw it away. It remains 20-19.
They just about ran the same play, both sides, and it was almost defended exactly the same by both defenses.
First, the lefty Kroll takes it, throws it back to Franks. Tim Tebow is smiling somewhere. And then the guy that's been the workhorse in the third quarter, LaMichael Pirine, caps it off. It's a one-point game again. You think the Gators are into it, including their head coach? Deafening noise in here during that timeout. 8:48 to go. Florida by 1. LSU will work from its 25-yard line. The last two drives, the ground game has come to life. Both quarterbacks have had their moments.
But remember, it was loud at Auburn. Very similar situation. And Joe Burrow let him down for a field goal to win the game. He's got experience. The guys in that huddle are looking at him and believe he can do it again.
Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. The shift. All three receivers to the left. They pitch it that way. Edwards-Helaire spinned away from one guy, but not the rest of the Gators. And a loss of one. Henderson turned him in. David Reese and company finished him off, and Joseph is shaken up again for about the third time.
Well, this play worked earlier in the day. Steve Emsinger, offensive coordinator, came back to it, but this time Florida was ready for it. And the way they did it was C.J. Henderson just attacked the play as soon as the pitch went. Watch Henderson come off of the wide receiver. He reads it right away, and he makes the play. Joseph landed on that left shoulder again, or his left rib. You see him grab the left side.
Torrey Carter landed on him, number 44 right there. Jamie, what do you got?
He's in a lot of pain down here. It was that left side low back. They were about to help him up, but they want to keep him on the ground right now. I mean, he's moving everything around, but yeah, he went right to that low side left back.
You know, it's the only good thing for Vashon is each time he's been hurt, it's been something different. He's not aggravating the last one.
And in this case, at least he's on his own sideline.
Watch when he lands. I think he lands on his own elbow here on his side, and he reaches right away for his left side. I don't believe the fall on him hit him. He was already reaching for that left rib or his rib cage. Great defensive play for that Florida defense, though. Remember, they had just been run on for 80 yards. They were challenged. They have to stop the run now.
And they've got Vashon up now. Like I said, just a short walk over to the bench. And Kylan Johnson has come in to take his spot. Meanwhile, it's second down and 11 for the LSU offense. Burrow in the gun. Play action, hit as he throws, incomplete. Polite with the hit on the quarterback.
Well, right now, Ja'Kai Polite, C.J. Jefferson, and Jabari Zuniga are not being able to be handled at all in a pass rush situation. He took Sadiq Charles, number 77, and just threw him away before he hit the quarterback.
Remember, we talked about all the shifts on the offensive line due to injuries and inexperience for LSU, and it showed up today. Burrow trying to buy himself a little time. Now he's going to tuck it and run it, and he's got a first down. Almost tripped himself up and would have been short, but he fell forward.
Decent time to throw downfield, but just a shoe that time. Took him into an on-balance, but he fell forward.
Got 13 on 3rd and 11. Now he's going deep sideline. And looking for a flag as Jefferson. There it comes.
That'll be interference. That's the toughest play for a defensive back. A well underthrown ball. This was not by design at all. Trey Dean, number 21. This is thrown as a deep ball, but it's underthrown, and he grabs
Pass
Jefferson.
interference on the defense. Number 21. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So that's going to put it around midfield, maybe the 48, somewhere in there.
You know, sometimes you say, okay, that was a well-designed play and they deserve the call, but that was just a poor throw, and LSU was the beneficiary of it.
Rashawn Joseph's back in. Eight-minute mark, first down, LSU back in Gator territory. Edward Zeelander got 3 yards out of what I thought was going to be no game.
Yeah, Jabari Zuniga, number 92 that time, beat the block, disrupted the play. He was in the backfield, and that's how you play good defense. If you can force that running back to make a cut before he wants to, you can pretty much stop the run.
A field goal would give LSU the lead, but a precarious one of 2 points. Edward Zeelander again. This time, David Reese all over him.
Some guys just have a knack for feeling the blocking scheme and going behind it to make the tackle. Coming on the left side, he's going to come behind the blocking scheme and make the tackle. You have to have a lot of trust in your ability to stay behind the play and then backdoor the tackle.
Reese, who had back-to-back seasons against these guys of 12 tackles, has got to be in that area again today. It is 3rd and 7.
Ja'Kai Polite, 99. C.C. Jefferson, 96.
Joe Burrow hit again, trying to throw it.
And it was C.C. Jefferson that made the play that time. They helped on Ja'Kai Polite. They double-teamed one side, so the other guy makes the play. Watch the help to this side. The sack or the forced fumble comes from the other side. Help on one side, no help on the other side. That's what you call a duo of pass rushers.
So they don't get to an area where they can try a field goal. They'll have to punt. Josh Roden in to kick. Freddie Swain is back for the Gators at the 10-yard line. Swain's going to let this one go, and it's going to be a beauty for LSU down around the 3 somewhere. So 6:24 remaining. Florida's got the lead by 1, but they are in a deep hole down near their own goal line. Tonight on CBS begins with back-to-back comedies, The Neighborhood and Happy Together, followed by God Friended Me and a new edition of 48 Hours. Tonight, only CBS.
Let's see what you got, Florida. You're going up against one of the great defenses in college football. You know if you dish up a 3-and-out here, it's most likely going to be a 3-point field goal for LSU. You have to make at least 2 first downs here.
Trying to stay within a game of Georgia and Kentucky. That's what Florida's trying to do, to try to go to 5-1. LSU trying to go to 6-0 and remain perfect and remain in the top 5. Gators from their own 4. Jordan Scarlett in the backfield. Tony gets a handoff on a sweep. And he got maybe 3. Good job by Delpit to stay home there and follow number 4 across the field to make the tackle. Last drive, Felipe Franks rushed for 12, caught a pass from Krull, and threw for 26. Right now, he'd just like to get it out to the 15. But it's going to be on the ground if they do it. Scarlett will not get there. Neil Farrell made the tackle. And it's 3rd down and a big one coming up. Gary said they need 2 first downs. They're a yard away from one of them.
Well, you know what Dan Mullen wants to call. He wants to call the quarterback run. It's worked for him before. Will he dial it up now?
Scarlett inside, got it, and still going. Jordan Scarlett with a big first down at the 5-minute mark.
Well, it hasn't been pretty for Jordan Scarlett. He's had to make people miss in the hole all day, but it's been tough yards that he's produced, and producing this first down might be one of the big ones. Fairly well blocked, but Scarlett, who rushed for over 100 yards 2 years ago against this defense, is the guy that was called on to make the first down.
He stays in there on a first down at the 19-yard line. They pitch it to him. Scarlett looking for a block on the corner, trying to stiff arm, and Devin White's I'll give you a little bit, like maybe a yard.
How about that speed from the linebacker spot? That's what the people who watch this tape of this defense say. Look where he is. He's on the back side, and he runs down the running back and makes the play for a yard gain. It looked like they had him outflanked, didn't it? And when that ball was pitched.
Now Franks with 3 wide receivers to his left has a look back to his sideline on 2nd and 9. Scarlett got to within 2 yards of the first down marker.
The first down here puts the clock in play in this game.
Got a timeout. Oh, we have a man down. We have a man down. It's Rashard Lawrence for the 2nd or 3rd time today. Holding his right shin or calf. Could be a cramp as well.
Well, he struggled a year ago with ankle problems and missed a few games. Plays a lot of plays, taking on 2 blockers. Good job by that Florida offensive line to make it 3rd and short again. Remember, with the first down here, the clock is major. It will force LSU to think about using their timeouts.
Majority of the time, Rashard Lawrence is battling about 700 pounds on the other side, and he did get double teamed and walking off gingerly.
I always feel like once you have an ankle sprain or a bad ankle injury, it never really goes away.
Yeah, it's true. It's given Felipe Franks a long chat with Dan Mullen on the sideline. Last time on 3rd and 1, they gave it to Jordan Scarlett, and he worked his way for the first down to pick up the first of what Gary said they needed, at least 2 first downs, even if they just had to play field position, because they were buried down inside their own 10 to start this drive. Scarlett's in there.
Miranda has to come after this. He has to bring everybody here, doesn't he?
Scarlett again. He's got the first down out to the 30.
Now Coach O has to start looking at that clock.
He has 3 timeouts. And now the fans are booing because we got another player down from the defensive line, Glenn Logan.
I'll tell you, when Florida came back to that game against Mississippi State at halftime. You know what the adjustment was at halftime? Dan Mullen said, you got to play tougher. He looked at his offensive line and said, you got to play tougher. And they have played tough running offense with that offensive line right here. Again, Jawan Taylor rooted out that first down. They ran right behind number 65.
And again, the fans were booing because they think that Glenn Logan's taken a little breather with the injury. But you're going to see him get
97 right there, gets bent back.
Yeah.
I would say that's his. Yeah, that's what it is right there. You get bent back like that. It really doesn't have any effect on the clock. It could if you were going hurry up, but no way Florida's going to go hurry up in this situation. They're going to bleed out all the clock they can. If LSU doesn't take a timeout, that thing will not be snapped above 5 seconds.
Well, Gary, about 3.5 hours ago, you and I talked about the could-be's, the would-be's, and the will-be's.
Yep.
Contenders, pretenders. I think they're both contenders.
I do too. I think it's a tough game to win on the road for LSU. They did it once at Auburn. They come in here, they knew they were going to get their best shot from this Florida defense. It's still, the Florida defense is, I think, equal to almost any defense in this league. The offense hasn't catch up, but I thought running the ball today, they've shown signs that they're on their way. They've run the ball now for over 200 yards in this game.
Perine with 81, Scarlett 66, Franks 42, and Tony 21.
And you know the most important of it is 66 of it has been here in the fourth quarter when they really needed to do it, including those 2 first downs out from their own 3-yard line.
So now they're hoping for another first down, which would put them out at the 40. 2 timeouts left for Florida. LSU with all 3. And the clock working its way down to the 3-minute mark.
No hurry here. Still got about 7 seconds.
Cleveland and Jefferson, the 2 wideouts to the left.
Smartly done by Franks.
Scarlett going to lose a couple here.
With the loss right there, I think Orgeron should take a timeout right now, and he does. If Florida picks up 9 yards, you save it. But when you get a tackle for a loss, you use it.
So LSU uses its first timeout, with Florida facing a second down and a long 11.
And if you're Dan Mullen calling plays here, you gotta, in your head, think they've got a great field goal kicker, a guy that hasn't missed. I got to figure out a way to make another first down. I don't want to put my defense out there having to defend half a field.
Franks loads. Might have been hit as he threw. He's trying to get it to Cleveland. And he is scraping himself off the turf here at the Swamp.
Was it, I don't know exactly who it was. Was it Ray Thornton, 43, that came around? Yes, it was Thornton, 43.
He just never really got to follow through.
No, he didn't. It spun the ball to his left as he let it go.
So that stops the clock, and it's 3rd and 11. And now LaMichael Perine comes in to join Franks in the Gator backfield. 3 wideouts to his left. They have to get to the 40-yard line. They keep it on the ground to Perine. Not going to get there.
You got to take a timeout.
There's the second.
With the college rule of the first down timeout, they're much more valuable on defense than offense, those timeouts.
Big day today. Or maybe it's not.
There was a flag thrown just as we were going to that Ed Orgeron called timeout, and I don't know what it's about, but we're about to hear it. Double unsportsmanlike conducts, I guess.
Van Jefferson got pushed off the pile, number 12 for Florida. But in this situation, if you give the penalty to LSU, if you only call it one way, game's almost over. Offsetting means you just, it's 4th down.
see if we can get what they're looking at. Gary's already seen it. There's one by Kerry
After
Vincent.
the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct fouls against both teams. Number 5 on LSU and number 9 on Florida. Those penalties will cancel. The down counts.
So it's 4th down.
And I think that's the emotion of this game deserves those offsetting penalties right there.
Yeah.
Guys, everything matters on this play. LSU got a good stop. Guys are pushing each other. Not the end of the world. These are competitive athletes. You got to earn that penalty at the end of the game. It's almost like basketball. If you're going to drive down the lane, you got to expect to get hit.
Townsend to punt on 4th and 6. Jonathan Giles waits on the other end.
Oh, what a punt.
And again, Giles has to backpedal about 20 yards to make the catch at the 8. Trying to look for a block. Got one, but he'll only get out to the 12.
You talk about flipping the field.
I told you. His punting last week was a huge part of the Mississippi State win.
Well, just think about the success of this drive by Florida. Not only did they take 4 minutes off the clock, or 3 or 4 minutes off the clock, they started on their own 3, and they give the ball back at the 12. That's a successful drive.
But as Gary said, we've already seen Cole Tracy do it once this year, a field goal to win at Auburn. And that's all LSU needs right now. With 1 timeout to go, Joe Burrow steps up, throws short, complete, dropped immediately is D. Anderson by Trey Dean. And the clock will run down near 2 minutes as they come up to the line. Second and 4. Burrow throws incomplete. His receiver fell down. It was intended for Stephon Sullivan.
Pretty good protection on both of those first 2 throws. Sullivan slips and falls on the outcut on the slot right there. See him fall down? No way. Burrow has to anticipate the throw, and it's not going to work.
3rd down at 4.
Who wins here? Pass rush or pass protection? Story of the game right here.
Blitz. It's intercepted by Florida. Brad Stewart. Touchdown. The only Gator on the roster from the state of Louisiana. Interception by Brad Stewart for a touchdown.
First look, does he score? Yes, he does.
He took the camera and the pylon and everything with him.
After the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9, Florida. That penalty being forced on the kickoff. Touchdown's good.
And this is a huge penalty because this would just be an 8-point game. Joe Burrow threw his first interception of the year, but the game is not over. An extra point here makes it an 8-point game.
McPherson for the point after. Up and good. 27-19.
All-out blitz. You're going to get the overload blitz to the short side. It's picked up well, but because Florida's blitzing, the Florida defensive backs jump the routes. They don't think he's going to have time to throw it, and he was right. So for the second straight game, with the game on the line, Todd Grantham brings the blitz. And for the second straight week, one time it's a sack by a safety. This time it's an INT by the safety.
Brad Stewart. The play of the game so far. The sophomore out of New Orleans.
For Florida, it would have been a better deal for him to have stepped out at the 3. You can't lose if you step out at the 3. The game is still alive here with an 8-point game. No one's going to try to do that. I get it. But just the way it goes sometimes.
That's right. With LSU with only one timeout left, you can run the clock out.
Yes, you can.
So now LSU has their return guys.
Plus the penalty is going to give them great field position.
Right. They have got their return guys around the 15 to 20-yard line area.
The only difference is before they need a field goal, now they need a touchdown and a 2-point play.
McPherson to kick off.
And I don't think they've had a kickoff return today, have they?
Well, this one's from a different spot, though.
This one might get there, too.
Not be either. Going to be fielded at the 3 by Edward Zeller. Edward Zeller trying to get to the left corner. Not going to get there. Who else? Gardner Johnson.
It is, but it was a face mask, I think, right on the end of the play.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, return team, number 23. 15 yards from the end of the run, first down.
First of all, what a kickoff. 15-yard penalty, still almost put it in the end zone.
And then there could have been a fair catch called right here.
Yeah,
but instead, Edward Zeller decided to bring it.
Yeah, he couldn't track it down to fair catch it. And then Chauncey Gardner-Johnson reaches out to make the tackle and gets 15 more yards. The game
just barely. He's got one finger inside that face mask. Had him on the shoulder pads, but a finger or two in there, and it's a costly penalty. And the guy that's down is Ventrell Miller on the special teams. 1:37 to play. LSU's got one timeout to work with. They're going to get the ball at the 27-yard line.
Now, obviously, the odds are still in Florida's favor. LSU has to go the length of the field. But for a crowd that thought the game was over, they look up and start subtracting. Whoops, still a ball game.
That's how much green they've got to cover, and they need a touchdown. And a 2-point conversion. That's a lot to ask with 1:37, Joe Burrow. Burrow in trouble, goes down again. It's C.C. Jefferson. No, it's Polite again.
Take a timeout. You have to take a timeout. And this is the part of the game where Joe Burrow, if it's not there, has to get rid of it. First of all, he burns a timeout. Even if he would have got out of the pocket, he would have only got 4 or 5 yards. Time more valuable than yards for the quarterback on that running play.
Let's take a look at the GMC game changer. Felipe Franks, much maligned a year ago on the pitch.
Yeah, he's done about it all here in the second half. He's run the option. He's run the package where he does play action pass by himself. And he's caught passes too. He's done just about everything.
LSU out of timeouts. Their undefeated string on the line. 1:29 to go. Burrow steps up. Look out. Down he goes again. Another sack. Zuniga that time. And that's sack number 5.
You just got to throw the ball. If it's not there, throw it out of bounds. All day, that mental clock should have been ticking. You know your offensive line cannot hold up that long.
Going to be about a minute left on the snap. 3-man rush for Florida. Burrow. Far sideline. Tipped. Incomplete. Brad Stewart, who had the interception a moment ago, tipped that one away.
I thought this one was going to be picked off, too. I thought Stewart had it all the way. He almost overran it.
Last chance for the Tigers. Burrow loads it. Deep middle. Got it complete. Derek Dillon. On a huge 4th down, they complete this.
Florida only rushed 3 players on that one. Only a 3-man rush by Florida.
45 seconds. Burrow. Far side going to throw this one away.
That's what you got to do. So on 4th and long, the MO, bring people. That time, Todd Grantham said, no, I'm going to sit back. Joe Burrow took advantage of it and produced a 1st down.
On 4th and 17, he got 23 yards down the middle to keep the game alive.
I guarantee if this ball crosses the 50-yard line, they're going to start blitzing.
They've only got one guy in a stance defensively, a 3-man rush. Burrow throws to the near sideline. Jefferson, it went through his hands. It would have been a huge catch.
That was a good look off by Joe Burrow. He faked as if he was going to throw the ball to the middle. He went to the outside, and it was a catchable ball.
We've seen Jefferson make a lot of these already this year.
That was almost one you depend on him catching. That was a perfect look off by Burrow, and that would have set up gut-wrenching time for the Florida defense and their fans.
3rd down and 10. 34 seconds to play.
They're going to rush 3 again, or will they bring more?
Right now it's just 3. Burrow. Far side. Got it. No, get it out of the hands.
Again.
Stephon Sullivan had it and dropped it.
That's 3 straight plays that Todd Grantham has brought 3 rushers. One time they pick up 4th and 19. The next 2 they drop the passes.
I think Sullivan was worried about getting out of bounds and forgot to catch the ball.
But there's no reason for it, though, because on a 1st down, the clock stops.
Another 4th down. Last time it was 4th and 17.
No way they just rushed 3 here. They're going to bring 4, aren't they? No, it doesn't look like it.
Florida. Well, it's not an LSU timeout. They don't have any.
Timeout. Florida.
So, 28 seconds remaining. In a game that has been a thrill of minutes, especially in the second half. LSU has won the last 2 times they played in Gainesville, in 14 and in 17. A couple of plays ago on 4th and 17. Oh, no, that was a couple of plays ago when that was catchable.
Yeah. After the 4th and 17, they go to Jefferson to the outside for the drop, and then back-to-back drops again. Now, remember, Todd Grantham is also playing against the clock here, too. So he knows that the clock is ticking away, and he's able to rush 3. But I'm telling you, either one of those would have been caught, the strategy would have changed.
4th down and 10. The crowd will tell you whether this next pass is complete or not. It's intercepted. Game over. So Joe Burrow, who hadn't thrown an interception all year, threw a pick 6. And then Steiner, the guy that ended the game at Mississippi State on a safety blitz sack a week ago, comes up with the game clincher.
Just a 3-man rush. Jeremiah Moon comes around the corner to put the pressure on the quarterback. Derek Dillon thought he had the seam down the middle. Did he? Looks like it would have been a tough squeeze to me. No real place to throw the football. Good defense all the way around. Got the benefit of a couple drops, but the interception proved to be the difference in the game.
Substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Well, you know, Felipe Franks might have only gone 12 for 27, but I thought he showed a lot in this game.
Yep. So a month ago, everybody that's a Florida Gator fan is saying, we lost to Kentucky? And then Kentucky undefeated right now. And now Florida, 3 straight SEC wins, keeping pace in the SEC East with a huge win at home. We said it a few minutes ago. Who's a pretender? Who's a contender? Both these teams at 5-1, and I will wager to say they're both still contenders. Last chance, the last gasp, and the interception by Donovan Steiner finishes it off for Dan Mullen's Gators.
When you're a defensive coordinator and you dial it right, that's what it feels like.
Winning coach is with Jamie.
Coach, we talked at halftime about the physicality of this game, but in the end, what was the difference maker?
What was that? In the third quarter, that middle stretch, we got a little out physical, but we buckled down at the end, made plays. This team has found a lot of different ways to win games. We did it again today. It's great to see the Swamp back to being the Swamp and giving us that home field advantage.
What can you say about the way Felipe Franks operated this offense, especially down the stretch?
They did a heck of a job. You know, I mean, he was getting banged up. They did a good job getting pressure on us. He never flinched, did a great job managing us, making plays like we asked him to do, kept his focus and kept making plays for the whole 4 quarters.
It's been 9 years since you were back in a game like this. Is the Swamp alive again?
It certainly looks this way right there. It's great to be a Florida Gator. And look at this fans, all these people. This is what we need to get this program back to winning all these championships that they expect around here. Is the students, the fans, to create this atmosphere and make the Swamp the best home field advantage in all of college football.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you. Go Gators.
Dan Mullen told us we're not rebuilding, we're building. Boy, this is something to build on.
I thought the 2 first downs coming out from their own end zone and the punt to flip the field showed the toughness that he was looking for in the game.
And now it's time for the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. Joe Burrow, who had set a school record by not throwing an interception forever all season, threw this misfire to Brad Stewart. And Brad Stewart, the only Louisiana native on the roster, scores the touchdown. And here's how Mick Hubert called it for the Florida Gator Radio Network.
There's the snap to Burrow. Burrow dropping back, looking to throw and fires. It's intercepted! Intercepted by the Gators! And it's run back down the sideline by Brad Stewart! How about Brad Stewart? He's got the first interception Joe Burrow has ever thrown in his career. And the Gators get a pick 6. They got the ball. They got the lead. And 1:45 to play in the game. How much?
So a happy coach, his little girl Bree in arm, and they go to 5-1, and their number 2 national ranking is going to rise up, and it is the Swamp. As he meets his family, big win at home. Kiss for Megan, squeeze for his little girl, and they head to the locker room, a happy Mullen family. Both teams 5-1. Both teams very much still in the hunt in the Southeastern Conference. We're going to see you next week in Baton Rouge, where the Tigers take on the Georgia Bulldogs. We hope you join us. That's going to wrap it up for Gary Danielson, Jamie Iredall, Brad Nessler saying so long from Gainesville. Final score, the Gators 27, the Tigers 19. CBS Sports College Football postgame show presented by Capital One is up next right after these messages.